And welcome back, everybody, to the channel. I am the most earth-breaking, ground-shaking, but never media show money-taking, the man, the myth, the legend, the most electrifying villain in sports entertainment today. Oh, I'm sorry. I was watching wrestling earlier. I meant to say YouTube entertainment today. Don't hunt me down, Rock. Anyways, welcome back, everybody. And tonight we will be doing the late night talks, and we'll be talking about the stuff that matters or doesn't, because some of the stuff I'm covering is debatable. But we're going to banter, shoot the shit, and just have some wacky fun. So, anyways, it's been an interesting week, an interesting news week. I had a great stream with Mr. Pop Culture PB. If y'all missed that, you should definitely check out the replay here in the fandom zone. We talked all things DC. It was a pretty fun, entertaining stream. But anyways, tonight I might be talking more DC, but I got some other entertainment stuff. We're gonna dive more into the Batwoman situation as it unfolds. Welcome, Timon Flip. Good to see you. Yeah. So I'm gonna be talking about a bunch of different things tonight. People freaking out over the Tenet preview, and apparently, because no one watches the fucking trailers, no one realized that Robert Pattinson was in the movie. I think that this is a great thing. It's really going to show what he looks like in an action movie kind of role. Seeing as to he's doing the Batman, it'll be interesting to see how he does in a movie that is, high action, thrills, and suspense, and all of that. But here's the thing: Christopher Nolan is an amazing director, and Pattinson is very good acting when he's got someone to direct him in set acting. So it'll be interesting to see exactly the directions that he's going to take. I'm very much intrigued. I think that if this movie does really well, it could help the Batman movie even more. What's up, GP? Good to see you here. Good to see y'all here on this Saturday. I may do a memorial special on Monday as well. So, anyways, yeah, we're gonna talk about all sorts of stuff tonight. But anyways, first thing I'm gonna dive into, being that I've already started talking about it, is the movie Tenet. I've been excited about this, and not gonna lie, I also shell for Christopher Nolan. I think he's a brilliant director. I haven't seen a bad Christopher Nolan movie, and Tenet seems to be on its way to revolutionize the whole time travel thing that people do. I would like to see Nolan's take on this. Inception to me was a great movie, very misunderstood by the general public, but the concepts of being a mind thief and things like that, I can't think of another person who thought of a concept of it when it had come out. I remember seeing the movie in theaters and going, holy shit, this movie is just, as far as thinking, it's quite amazing. So I got an article here. I've got an article, and it's very interesting because I think a lot of eyes are going to be on Pattinson's performance. So the first one is the Batman fans freak out as new Tenet trailer shows Robert Pattinson after Dark Knight mention. So here's the thing. I knew Robert Pattinson was in the movie. I don't think it was a real big secret, although in the first teaser trailers, they didn't show him much. This new extended trailer showed a little bit more of what he's going to be doing. Apparently, he'll be one of the key characters in the movie. So I'm going to dive into this article a little bit, and it says the Batman fans are freaking out as the new Tenet trailer shows Robert Pattinson after mentioning The Dark Knight. Christopher Nolan's latest work got the world premiere trailer treatment in Fortnite. God. This evening, a lot of people are wondering just what the acclaimed filmmaker has in store in the footsteps of Christian Bale in the Dark Knight trilogy. Those are some big shoes to fill, but the Twilight Star seems to be more than up to the task. It feels like every time he's mentioned now, there's some allusion to Matt Reeves' upcoming Bat flick. On Twitter, no Bat fans are going to let that sly nod go unnoticed. Pattinson mentioned this strange coincidence to Variety when everything came together. He actually was working on Tenet when he learned about the Batman casting. It makes sense that the young actor would be eager to ask the veteran film critic filmmaker about becoming the Batman. After all, the success Nolan enjoyed with the character. It's so bizarre, Pattinson told his publication. I was like, what a coincidence this is happening. It's absolutely crazy. I was talking about things to do with the bat suit, how to get more movements in it. However, fans of Nolan's work shouldn't expect any conventional plot from this wild-looking tale. Pattinson told GQ that he is not clear to say anything about the plot of the film. I'm so curious. I mean, I literally haven't seen a frame of this movie, Pattinson mentioned. Someone referred to his character as a time traveler, and the actor clarified he's not a time traveler. There's actually no time traveling. That's like the one thing I am approved to say. Nolan's mainstay, Michael Caine, has been sworn to secrecy, as he told the Hindu. Nolan is so secretive, he won't let me have the script, Caine shared with them. All I had was one day's work, and he gave me my pages. I did my part, and I shot only with John David. I haven't heard anything since. Are you excited to see Tenet this year? So, yeah. Yes, I'm reading again, PB, and you can't comment until you're in here. So, let's see what we got here. At General Zod's Phantom Zone, did the spinning top fell or not for you? In my session, the noise is there. Hilarious. Anyways, so yeah, Tenet looks to be a good movie. What do you guys think? Personally, I'm excited. I thought this was going in a time traveling thing, but with Christopher Nolan, you never know. Christopher Nolan has a way of, one, not reviewing a damn thing about his movies until the release date. Even trailers don't really tell you what the movie's going to be about. Everybody assumed it was going to be about time travel because of how scenes were jumping backwards, but apparently it's not about time travel. So that'll be interesting. What's even more interesting is the fact that Christopher Nolan worked on one of probably the greatest Batman trilogies of all time, and the actor who's in that is playing the Batman. Coincidence? You guys decide. I don't know. But I will say this. I think that this year and next year is a real chance for Robert Pattinson to break out of the mold that people have seen him in. Now, look, I'm a film connoisseur. I watch a lot of movies. Most of us who review films do watch a lot of movies. And I have seen, yes, thank you. Memento is a great movie, Mr. Geekicidal Tendencies. Yes, and I agree, Timon. Tenet does look like something fresh. Look, Hollywood has needed minds like Nolan forever, okay? We're tired of the same recycled bullshit that Hollywood spits out every single time. It's always the same formula, it's always the same plot, it's always the same type of things. People like Christopher Nolan, even with his subpar movies, are better than half of the big blockbuster recycles and retrends that we see constantly. I mean, how many different Fast and Furious style action movies can we see in a year? How many different Disney remakes are we going to see? How many different reboots? Everybody talks about Disney. Okay, let's step back from Disney for a second. Just think about this. How many movies have been rebooted? And I mean movies that aren't connected to the mouse. Just think about franchise movies. We had a remake to fucking Footloose. Who the fuck wanted a remake to Footloose? I never sat down and said, you know what? Fuck Kevin Bacon and Sean Penn, or I'm sorry, Chris Penn, brothers. I get them mixed up, even though one's heavyset and one's crazy. But anyways, I digress. Whoever was sitting around the table goes, you know what? We need a new version of Footloose. That would be great. No one was saying that. No one wanted another fucking Dirty Dancing movie. Nobody wanted another fucking Point Break. It's like Hollywood has no ideas, and the creative geniuses who do have ideas are few and far in between. They almost have to do a blockbuster movie just to get the right to put out a movie that they want to make. You have the Guy Ritchies and things like that, but these are established people. And we're getting to a point where the directors aren't able to establish themselves to make the projects that they want to make because they make a first shitty movie and no one wants to see the second one. I mean, there's a lot of good ideas out there. There's a lot of good independent filmmakers and a lot of good independent films that go unwatched. I've done a review, and Perp Mind has done a review on that movie, The Lodge. It was a great horror movie, and went into the theaters like a whisper because of all the other shit going on. It'll be very, very interesting to see a Nolan film. And here's the thing. You can tell the trademark of a good filmmaker because they don't just put out a film every year. They wait a couple of years in between films. They do that thing where they think about a story and they think about writing and they think about what they want to do for a plot and things like that. So it will be really interesting to see how these movies shape up. And here's another thing too. With this coronavirus thing, the lack of movies, Disney pushing everything back, this gives these people a chance to really break out and get ahead. There's not going to be Disney soaking up all the competition for most of this year. I mean, you got Black Widow coming out, but they push back all their other releases. This gives other studios a chance to actually make a mark and bring up some good stuff. So
yeah, now you're going to have to listen to all of the good stuff that I have to say and all of my comments, you son of a bitch.
What's up? So, what do you think about this? Have you seen the trailers for Tenet?
Oh, yeah. I definitely seen the trailer for Tenet. I seen it twice. And then Stevie's live stream got pulled down because we weren't talking enough over the top of it. And then the 40 minutes of praise of the movie that we gave apparently wasn't good enough for them. So they're like, no, you can't have this. You're about to hit 1,000 subs. We can't have this on your channel. It's not for you. So they took it down. So then he started another one. So I definitely saw it. And I don't I don't believe them when they say it ain't got nothing to do with time travel. It explicitly has to do with time travel.
Yeah, Christopher
Like,
Nolan.
does Minority Report have to do with time travel? Not necessarily, but absolutely it does.
One thing about Nolan, he doesn't like to put his movies into a box and say it's a specific thing, and that's something I've always liked about his directing. He likes the audience to decide what exactly his film is. I do know when fucking when what was that film I was just talking about? Fuck, I'm getting old.
Tenet?
When Inception, there we go. When Inception came out,
Oh.
no one had a clue what that fucking movie was about. I just know it looked cool as shit. I remember watching the trailers, and I remember getting at the end and then going, I have no idea what this movie is about, but I want to see it. I mean, fucking buildings are folding, and Tom
No,
Hardy's
yeah,
in there, Leonardo.
we brought that up when we were talking about it too, and that was one of the movies that we used as the example, and that's one of the great things that Christopher Nolan does with his trailers is he's an expert at giving you just enough so that you get the general overview. Like, I knew going into Inception that it was something to do with dreams. I had no idea what the plot was, what the purpose was, or anything, but I knew it had something to do with dreams. That was it.
And I'd like to just say something.
Like this movie, I only know it's got something to do with how they can, I don't know if it's travel through time, but they can see stuff before it's happened or after it's happened so that they can prevent all these catastrophes.
Yeah, Timon
Like
Flip
fucking
makes a
Minority Report.
yes, that was a great movie, by the way. Timon Flip says, at General Zod's Phantom Zone, I believe that there is a lack of imagination, but a lack of courage to invest in something new. And I totally agree. Hollywood is at this stagnant point where money dictates the market, and that is true from a business perspective. Money does dictate the market, but they play it so safe with what works. And here's the thing: when someone tries something new and it works, then instead of trying to build on that, they make 50 fucking movies of the same exact concept. And we've seen it 1,000 times. When 300 came out, right? How many fucking movies did you start seeing with slow motion and all that shit? Or Matrix with the slowing down bullets.
Every movie?
like everything,
Yeah,
you
bullet
know?
time.
Mm-hmm. Which I'm sorry, I would say Max Payne coined that before that happened. If y'all remember playing Max Payne, that game was out before. I'm pretty sure either
No, I
before or
don't
during
remember
the time.
playing Max Payne. The game came out before The Matrix.
Yeah, or at least around that time period. It was by Rockstar. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that at the very least the game took the concept from The Matrix if The Matrix came out first, but I'm pretty sure The Matrix kind of took that concept. And every shooting game that came out after that had the fucking bullet time. That's where bullet time came from, was Max Payne. Or the concept of,
Okay, I'm pretty sure it came from The Matrix.
yeah, I'd have to see when Max Payne came out, but you know what I mean. But I
Okay,
know
so
that
if it came from Max Payne, the term got coined from the movie The Matrix.
oh yeah,
Guaranteed.
because audiences would know that more than a video game, unfortunately. Geekicidal Tendencies says also he never has to rely on fake or misleading trailers like, oh, I don't know, every Marvel trailer has to fact.
What do you mean? You didn't see the Hulk in Wakanda in Infinity War? You didn't see that? Yeah, neither did I. Fucking assholes.
Also, they said he said Max Payne was 2001, Matrix was 1999. So yeah, I figure it was close. They were
Oh,
close.
shocker. Zod was wrong.
I'm never wrong. I'm half right.
Sure. Sure.
So so
Okay.
the whole thing is for me, I think how Robert Pattinson acts in this action movie will be a good indicator of what he'll be like in the Batman. What do you think? Do you think that it would be a fair assumption that judging from this performance, you can gauge what he'll be like? Because they're both physical roles. So it's going to be interesting to see him and how he moves and things like that. Uh, you know, both of them have
I don't
those
know. I
kind of
feel, I mean, I don't, I guess we'd have to see this movie first, but we've all seen, if not every Batman movie, almost every Batman movie. And you know how much Batman has to move around and the shit he has to do. And the more of that you can do without any type of assistance, the better it's going to look. So, I mean, if you take that into account, like, yeah, if this movie has similar style fight scenes and he's, I don't know, able to refine his skills even that much more, that'd be great.
oh yeah, yeah. I think that one thing about Nolan is he's very very good at um you know setting up the physical stuff. Like all of his movies, he likes the actors to be involved, maybe not directly in the big dangerous stunts, but with the fighting scenes and stuff. He has certain expectations of the actors to invest in the role. And with the way of, he directs his movies, they want to. And I think this would be great because one thing I noticed about Robert Pattinson as a actor, if he has a good director directing him, and that's able to bring that out, he can put on screen an amazing performance. I mean, he has a good track record, barring Twilight. I mean, the movies he's had since then have been acting
Well,
movies. Like,
yeah, I mean, when I was watching the trailer, it was before I joined the live stream with Stevie. I didn't even know it was Robert Pattinson because apparently that's his actual voice. And then I said, well, yeah, I couldn't recognize him without his crystalline chest.
yeah. So I mean,
He still looks like a damn vampire, man. He is white as hell in this movie.
oh yeah, yeah. He's white as hell in every movie, but I think that
Like, where
the
did they film this movie? Northern Ireland? Scotland?
yeah, somewhere around there. So I mean, it'll definitely
He
be
fits right in.
it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see, the movie and the physicality and stuff like that. But speaking of physicality and demanding roles, switch gears a little bit here, and we're gonna get into your favorite subject, Batwomen.
Oh man, best Sunday night comedy on.
So there's been a lot of
Well, I
rumors.
guess the season's over.
There's been a lot of rumors, but I'm gonna get to the first one. And if you guys didn't see our last stream, we talked about this for a bit. But the
Oh, a
one,
rumor which raccoon told you this?
the raccoon that told me this is going to come from Canceled or Not. Uh, and welcome, Stevie J.
What is going on, General Zod and Corona Free
I,
PB?
I feel like the dingoes have abducted you, possibly holding your family at gunpoint, saying if you get on a fucking stream, they're dead.
No,
Yeah.
he just got done putting the fires out.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Remember those fires?
Yeah. Everyone's forgotten about the bushfires now after bloody COVID-19 rubbish.
Ridiculous. We
But
still
yes, I'm
feel
back.
for you, Australia.
I am here. I am here. Finally.
Excellent. You know, looking at the screen, it looks pretty good that you're looking at yourself on the screen.
I know. Isn't that? It must be destiny or something. But talking about Tenet, was the logo there before the avatar, or the avatar there before the logo? Holy shit! Nobody knows.
Wait, what?
Tenet,
yeah.
Tenet, how it's like things happen before they happen.
Shit, I missed it. Yep, I get it now.
Yeah.
That's what I was
Son of a
going for. Yeah.
Fuck it.
That blew
Apparently,
my
it
mind.
doesn't have to do with time travel. If you heard what Zod was attempting to read,
I heard a little bit of it, but yeah, it's got something to do with time travel, surely. If things they're talking about things happening before they happen, or they happen
Right.
in the past, or whatever,
So-
something to do with time travel.
right? I was like, okay, so they're not like going through time the way that the Avengers go through time, or the way that you could like get on a ship and go through time. So okay, but I consider Minority Report a style of time travel. If you could see into the future, like that's time travel. I don't need to be there physically to see what numbers are going to win me the lottery. Like, no, I don't need that.
Yeah, well, I think you can put it into a time travel realm because they're manipulating time in some way. Like, it might not be with a DeLorean, but they're manipulating time in some way. So it's in that time travel kind of genre, I reckon. But either way, it looks fucking sick. It looks amazing.
Oh yeah, and we all know Nolan. He's a troll too. He's not going to tell you what his movie is about. I was saying he's one of those rare directors that I feel like he likes to trust the audience that we have common fucking sense and we can figure it out, and that he doesn't have to spoon feed us details and every little thing about his movie like all these pompous assholes we deal with these days.
Yeah, but I think as well he gets a good amount of control over his trailers too. Like the studio doesn't necessarily put out exactly what they want. It's what he wants, and he doesn't want to put out much in the trailers, which is good. He just wants to show enough to make it look interesting, which it does. And yeah, I heard you talking about Inception before, and yeah, I mean, Inception was one of those movies, and I heard you saying he makes the audience ask questions, and I think that's classic Nolan, because the same thing with Inception. We were talking about this the other night with PB and Perp, and it's the spinning top thing at the end of Inception. Like, it just leaves questions at the end. The audience is thinking about it. So hopefully Tenet's the same. Like, it's a satisfying watch, but at the end you're still left with some questions.
Yeah, I think Nolan fits better in a movie when he does that, when he like leaves a little bit of loose threads. It was just like with not Dark Knight Rises. I always get them. Is it the Dark Knight Rises? Yeah, Dark Knight Rises.
I don't know. We don't know what you're gonna say.
The end of Dark Knight Rises, where like all of this shit is happening, but there's not going to be another movie. Like, we find out that what's his face was going to be Nightwing. All of that. Because he goes into the cave and he sees his suit.
I disagree with you. You're wrong.
All right. How am I wrong that there wasn't a
He's
setup
going to be Batman.
No, he's not. If you know the character,
he was 100%. No, that is why it's a movie and not a comic book. You butthole.
Even his name, that was the Easter egg for comic book fans.
Oh my God, that is the red herring for people that are like, oh, I know exactly who this character is going to be. Look at how smart I am. No, the movie is called what? What's the name of the movie?
The Dark Knight Rises.
Zod. Okay, that's the name of the movie. And what is the final scene of the movie?
He was going into the Batcave to get the Nightwing suit.
No. Specifically, what happened at the end of the movie? Specifically. Because I can tell you specifically, because obviously you're going to play this like a frickin' putz, even though you're a DC villain, so I'll just fill you in. At the very end, he goes into the Batcave, he gets onto the platform, and he rises like he's going to become the next Batman, because the Batman in this story is retired and Batman has to live on because it's The Dark Knight Rises. He's the next Dark Knight.
I reject your hypothesis.
Look at Tarantino
With what?
over here.
With the name?
No, I just pulled a Quentin Tarantino. You're welcome.
Like, the name of that character, how does that character set up? I'm pretty sure his entire character setup is under Bruce Wayne, correct? Bruce Wayne is gone!
Or is he? Batman's
Yeah,
never.
he died in an explosion and is gonna fuck Anne Hathaway for the rest of the time.
Which, not a bad way to retire, I will say.
There's definitely worse ways.
Timon Flip
There's definitely
agrees
worse
with
ways.
me. He's gonna be the next Batman.
Well, you guys have your takeaway. I have mine. He is not. It's in the name.
I mean, yours is wrong. It's fine. Like, it's incredibly obvious what they were doing with the end of that movie, guy. Come on now.
But see, this is my point that I'm talking about. Nolan has us debating about a movie that came out how many years ago?
I know.
And I mean, we could
we
all
ain't gonna
be
talk
wrong.
about any of the Batman movies in between.
I mean, we can all be wrong. You could just be like, nah, man, I just wanted to throw that in there just so people will talk
You're
about
like, no,
it.
man, he just found the cave. Yeah,
Yeah,
you got me.
He was like, oh yeah, he is Batman. End of movie. Like, I suspected the whole time, but once I found the fucking cave, yeah, there we go. Bruce was Batman. But, he's dead now. Yeah, but, it looks like a good movie. And moving on, because I wanted to get Stevie J's thoughts on this. I'm sure you've heard through the YouTube verse and stuff about this whole thing with the great and brave and stunning Batwoman show. The most amazing hour on television. I got to tell you, I finally got through season 1, and I got to say, I've taken shits that have been less painful. It's one of those things where, like, I've seen shows that have over the course of seasons declined, and it kind of saddens your heart. Game of Thrones. Arrow. But, I've seen shows that have kind of gone through down slopes, and you're sad inside because you're like, man, this had so much potential. But never in my life, probably once or twice, never in my life, not that fast, have I ever watched a show that has taken a nosedive from episode 1 to 20 as fucking fast as this show.
Whoa.
This has gotta be.
Whoa. Pump the brakes, guy. Pump the brakes. They had the crossover in the middle, so they had that bump, and then
I do not count the crossover.
You pulled the parachute, and you thought you were safe for a moment, and then the parachute ripped, and you're like, shit.
Crossovers do not count because they have different directors. Even if it's on their show, they're still coordinated with actual good directors from the other shows, because they have other characters. So the other directors from set shows come over and they pitch their story ideas so they have a coherent show. Like, Star Wars should have done, but they didn't. That's a story for another day. But yeah, that's what they do. So when the Batwoman show was slightly better that one episode, it was because they had different writers and directors helping on that show, because I read about that episode. And yeah, so I don't count it.
Oh,
They had writers on loan, which is why that one particular episode in the whole season was actually fucking watchable. The rest of it, like from episode 1, I'm just like, okay, this is just a boring show. But boy, do they go into the fucking SJW politics like hard left. Like, I've never seen a show like I hate Supergirl, but this show dove head first into the fucking politics and just never looked back. So, as everyone knows, Ruby Rose.
You know it's okay to be gay?
Oh yeah, apparently. They had a whole fucking episode about it. I couldn't miss it. Literally.
They've had multiple episodes about it.
Yeah, but there was one episode specifically named A Gay Day or it was in the fucking title. It was so
it's like a gay day in the neighborhood or something.
Yeah. Like, it was so on the nose. It was like, even the plot and the premise, if you wanted to call it the episode. So, God. So, anyways, Ruby Rose is stepping away.
It wasn't so much on the nose as it was on the mushroom stamp.
So Ruby Rose is walking away from season 2, and they were initially running with maybe it was because she was injured, but now the more it comes out, there's been different things circulating. So I got this article here, and it talks about Ruby Rose's departure, and it says, "What happens to Batwoman now? Hopefully it gets canceled." Recently, executive producer Mark, whatever the fuck, spoke with Collider about the future of the CW TV show without its lead, Ruby Rose. The DC Comics drama revolves around Kate Kane, Rose, a strong woman who never... they put it in parentheses.
You had me at strong woman. You had me. I'm in.
Plan to be Gotham's new vigilante. The cast includes Megan Tandy, Cameron Johnson, Nicole King, Rachel Scarsden, Dougray Scott, and Elizabeth Anwis. As reported earlier, Ruby Rose will not return for season 2 of Batwoman. So, how will the CW series continue without its lead? EP Marks told Collider he thinks this is a great creative opportunity for the show to go even further down the shit. I was talking to one of the Batwoman writers the other day, and we were saying how in this is a great creative opportunity. I think there will be people who will come to the show. I'm sorry. Sure. Quite frankly, just to see how the writers choose to handle this. I'm a big believer that anytime a production challenge is challenged, and sometimes it's cast, while sometimes it's logistics is in the challenge creates creative opportunities. Wow. So
wrong.
So wrong. And I'm gonna read and before we get into the next article, because yes, there's 2 articles because they have their eye on someone for my favorite fucking show. I hope this person doesn't do it because I actually like this girl. She's one of the lead on the sci-fi show Magicians. She walked away from this shit show, and personally, my personal opinion, this isn't a fact, but I think she saw the viewership, which nosedived, and she was like, yeah, I still want to have a career after this. So, Stevie, what do you think? Do you think she was injured? Do you think it was creative differences? They're circling around that. You know,
Wrong. Wrong. No, I just think this was this show. And full disclosure, I did not watch this show. The most I saw of this show was watching PB's reviews and 19K Fox's reviews of this show. So that's the most I saw of it. And I know from their fantastic reviews that it was a steaming pile of shit. So I never watched it. And I'm still not interested in watching it. Creative differences, my ass. Ruby Rose went, you know what? I am way too fucking skinny to do this role. I do a shit job. I think I need out of this and get into something different. Oh, and nobody watches it. And the studio was like, fuck, I think we made the wrong choice. Ruby Rose is way too skinny for this role. She's shit. And nobody watches it. So let's get rid of her. So they both decided to get her out of the show, I believe.
I watched it.
And I don't think I mean, what a load of shit. It creates great opportunities for creative development. Fuck off. No, it doesn't. You weren't planning on her leaving the show. So, okay, they think they're going to get more viewers because they're going to get somebody different. Maybe they will. But if you write a piece of shit show, it's still a piece of shit. That's what I think.
Yeah. I mean, you could put shine on a turd. You could put shine on a turd. It's still a turd.
Exactly.
Geekicidal tendencies. I feel bad if you watched for the lesbian scenes because on the whole, they were promoting this like lesbians were going to be making out every 5 minutes. That was the one SJW talking point I was looking forward to, and I was lied to. I was very lied to. I did not get as many lesbian scenes as I felt this show should have had, and I'm gonna write into Mark and be like, "You fucking liar! You know what? I'm not even part of the alphabet community, and I'm offended right now."
Well, mate, you would be a part of a bigger group because remember when she wasn't gay enough? She's only bi. She's not gay enough. She's not. She's ousted by the SJW community. They don't want no Ruby Rose.
Like, here's the thing, the writing in general is just terrible. And I think that, yeah, if you get another television actor, sure, because they're just jumping from one TV show to another. But another actor, and let's be real, Ruby Rose is a different kind of actress. She's been in movies. She's been in successful movies. And so, like, the CW had a win here. They had a win. And they chose to just write the shittiest product imaginable. Like, honestly, I can't think of a...
Yeah, in their discussions in the production for this movie, they should have taken their own advice, and and they should have gone, this show is almost perfect, but it will be when it's made for a Ruby Rose. But they didn't. They just went, okay, let's make it about a gay Batman, Batwoman, fucking whatever. It's all about the SJW shit. It's like Days of Our Lives and trying to put Batman in it or Batwoman or whatever. It's just stupidity.
Yeah, and I don't think no ploy they have to save it. But the greatest article comes to us from Vulture, who says Ruby Rose reportedly quit Batwoman because it was too much work.
Yeah, she's a movie star, don't you know?
I imagine when you come to work and you have to look at those fucking scripts, you know what? I don't blame her for making that statement personally. It is a lot of work. Do you know how hard it is to work to be shitty on that level? Like, she should be congratulated just for being able to act that shitty. Like, that's got to be some kind of talent.
You know what the best thing Ruby Rose could do? The best thing Ruby Rose could do right now that she's gone from the show and all that, is come out and say, yes, I know it was shithouse. It was crap. But anyway, I'm gonna have a laugh at myself now. Looking forward to the next role. Blah blah blah. It was a piece of shit. Let's all have a laugh and move on. That would be the best thing for her career wise. But if she tries to take it seriously, like an actual string to her career bow, then no, that's a bad move on her part.
I would leave it out of my resume personally.
No, what she needs all she needs to do whenever they ask her about it, she just has to say, at least my suit didn't have bat nipples.
That's true. You just go back to that. The only other thing possibly worse than this show, Batman and Robin. You go, hey, I could have been in Batman and Robin. And look, Arnold, Uma, everyone recovered from that. I mean, it took what's his name a little bit, Chris O'Donnell. Yeah, he had a uphill battle, but everyone else recovered just fine.
But see, great point bringing up that piece of shit with the bat nipples and the fucking zooming in on the crotch piece. Great point bringing that up, because Joel Schumacher has even come out and apologized for that. He's come out and said, "Shit, I'm sorry about that. That was terrible."
He's like,
no,
my
those
bad, guys.
scenes were made exclusively for Terrence, not to be confused with Tara. Welcome, Tara. She said Batman, not Batman, damn it. Batwoman was so awful. You gotta watch it as a comedy. It's a comedy. You can't watch Batwoman and be like, okay, this is the superhero that I want to aspire to. Because she just lets the villain go. She's just like, you know what? Don't go kill people. And then she kills somebody and she's like, you know what? I'm going to give you one more chance. Just don't do it again. Even though you're an evil supervillain, I'm going to, just go away and don't kill anyone else. And then she finds out that she killed someone else. She's like, well, we're related. What do you want from me? Fucking A, be a fucking hero.
So yeah,
but I guess she ain't got to worry about that anymore because it was too much work to try and be a hero. She'd rather fight dogs and John Wick.
Yeah, that's less work because she had an actual good star and writers and directors. Anyways, in an unprecedented move for network television, not really though. What the fuck are you doing, Vulture? You're supposed to be a reliable source here. Anyways, for all shows besides Lethal Weapon, it was announced earlier this week that Ruby Rose, the star of CW's newest Arrowverse series, Batwoman, was leaving after one season. Her role as the leathered up superhero would be recast in season 2. While Rose and the network expressed their appreciation for each other upon the split becoming public, a new TV Line report suggests that things behind the scenes were far from peachy. It was 100% her decision, an industry source explained. It was a breakup. She wasn't happy working on the show, and it did not make fun to work with. No, so everyone decided it would be best interest of the show and for all those concerned if they parted ways. It wasn't a good fit. The source insisted that Rose, severe onset injury from 2019, wasn't the departure catalyst. She underwent emergency surgery after herniating 2 discs from a stunt, but rather because she was distressed by the long hours demanded of a lead television role and didn't like living in Vancouver. I don't blame her there. Batman was set to produce 22 episodes before the coronavirus epidemic halted at 20. But why drag the hottest Canadian's hottest seaport into this? If it's good enough for Sussex, it's good enough for everyone. What? Okay. I don't know what the whole Canada thing has to do with it, but whatever. So apparently she wasn't too crazy
Blame
about living with
Canada.
those. Yeah.
Well, I don't know about all that Canada Sussex shit. I don't know what that's all about, but they did bring up a really good point in that article, and that was the fact that when you try and have a stick figure throwing around 200-pound stunt dudes, she's probably going to do a fucking disc or two in her back.
Yeah. And, here's the other thing, too. They said that she was having issues with she was having issues and becoming unpleasant to work with. Well, maybe it's the fucking scripts. Maybe she was like, hey, I know I swing both ways, but do we have to really throw this point up again? There's such a thing as a story and character growth, and I haven't seen any of
The
them.
story's gay.
I think tensions really were raised and heightened when they were in a meeting and they were like, "Where the hell's Ruby?" And they went looking for her, found her in the toilet wiping her ass with the script, and they're like, "Oh damn, she's getting so difficult to work with. Stop wiping your ass with the script all the time." And then the next meeting, she brought it back and slammed it on the table and said, "Yep, now it's better."
What's up, JB Vic? You're just the time for us to talk about Ruby Rose wiping her ass with the Batwoman scripts. Yeah, I honestly think that this is a combination of, one, if you're going to be injuring yourself, then you've got to feel that it's worth it, okay? I like to use Arrow as a point of reference because that started the Arrowverse, and Stefan got injured a bunch of times on that show. They have outtakes and shit of him injuring himself during stuff, like funny bloopers, like going, fuck, and dropping a weight or something like that. And it looked like they were having fun. They were laughing, and, the cast seemed pretty tight. I want to see what was going on behind the scenes for Batwomen, because I have a feeling that was a very tense work environment. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
About wanting to work on Batwoman? I mean, I'd love to work on it to improve the story.
Yeah, I think any of us could make a more coherent story, but I think, PB, do you think that the tensions in that in shooting was pretty fucking real? She was probably like yelling all the time, being like, "You want me to say what? Wait a second, I'll let who go? Aren't I supposed to be a hero?"
I mean, if she understands the character, she might have been saying stuff like that, and they're like, "Don't worry about it. It's for a TV show." And I was like, yeah, not the kind of TV show that I thought I was going to be watching at the beginning. That's not what I thought I was going to be watching. I didn't realize I was going to be laughing at every scene. I didn't laugh at every scene when I was watching Arrow. This is supposed to be like Arrow, and it's not. Like, I'm not making a joke, even though it is a joke, when I say it is the best Sunday night comedy that's on. Because if you watch that show and you think that you're watching a drama and not a comedy, it's like watching the movie The Martian. That's a comedy. It was meant to be a drama, but it ended up being a comedy. Have you seen that movie?
Yes.
Yeah, I put it in them same lines. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess, yeah, you could say tensions would get pretty high if she was not happy with either the production value of what's going on the show or with the script. Like, they're both lacking, especially in her scenes. Like, some of the shit that she says is hilarious. I was like, that's not supposed to be funny, but I'm laughing.
So, This question is for the panel. It comes to us from GP. He actually has a set of them. He says, at General Zod's Phantom Zone, at Stevie J Reviews, and at Pop Culture PB. Thoughts? Fucking blue. God damn it. Okay. Thoughts on how Kate Kane is going to leave? Is she gonna die? Is she gonna get crippled? Is she gonna go to a parallel universe? From how I hear it, it's going to be Kate Kane.
None of that.
It's going to be a different person. You're just going to look and
They're
go,
just going to recast the person, and everything is going to continue as normal.
Either that, or she's going to go chill out with Batman in the Bahamas, because Batman's doing nothing. Remember?
No, she killed
He's just
Batman.
chilling out.
Didn't you watch
No,
the crossover?
she killed alternate timeline Batman.
I just
Their
didn't watch
Batman
any
is
of
still
it.
running around somewhere.
I just said I didn't watch any of it.
I know. I couldn't help myself, though.
That means none of it. Zero. Not a minute.
She killed Kevin Conroy in the crossover. You know who that is, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she killed the shit out of him and felt guilty for an episode, and then was back to letting criminals
I
go.
killed Bruce Wayne. And I was like, okay, he was evil.
And then she was like, well, fuck it, people die.
Right? Oh my God.
Yeah, anyway, I agree. Like, even though I haven't seen a second of this show, I think they're just going to recast it and move on as if nothing happened.
Yeah,
100%.
so anyways, just some ridiculous news. I think that we need to talk about, because this is great to watch when people who try to actively put politics in their show, and it just goes down the drain. It's a hilarious thing to see. It's like watching a major tragedy, only hopefully no one's there. Like, the Titanic, but without people. Because Titanic was sad, except for Tazad. That was funny.
Wait,
I mean,
Titanic
who
was
plays-
bad?
Yeah, man. I mean, did you not watch the scene with the guys playing to the very end?
Oh, I watched the scene where the guy bounces off the propeller about a
I love
million
that
times.
I love that scene.
That's the best
one of
part of the
best-
movie.
Do you know what? Everybody just loved James Cameron for that movie, but I just loved him for that one bit. The sound effect of the guy
That one bit.
hitting the propeller. That was awesome. Fucking
Fucking 10 out of 10. That one scene or that one moment is a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, man. But let's switch gears. I got to talk about it, and I got to get Stevie's feelings. And look, I'm of two train of thoughts now, just because I'm really starting to fucking hate what's coming out by the critics on this subject. But, we got to bring it up. The Snyder
Did you
Cut.
just say he was coming out?
Did you just release the Snyder Cut just then?
I released the Snyder Cut. Most people don't know General Zod is in this cut of the movie. I said I was free. We're reshooting the CG. Oh yeah, this next snap thing. I'm sorry. Spoilers for anyone who's gonna see the Snyder Cut. General Zod is actually alive. I am well.
You got a
Well,
neck brace.
No offense, but I hope they fuck your mouth up with CGI just like they did to Henry Cavill.
I hope that the CGI is better. I hope
That would be
just
amusing.
He's reshooting with the Witcher look, because he's clean shaved for that.
Oh my God.
Oh, wouldn't
Superman with
surprise
white
me.
hair.
Wouldn't surprise me if they actually put the white hair on him. How bad it was in Justice League. Oh, geez.
All right, so here's the thing. My first train of thought is that I wasn't a fucking idiot that asked for it. But on the flip side of that, okay, there is the bitching and the moaning. Release the Snyder Cut. We all have been guilty for calling these people fucking idiots. I still maintain that opinion. But on the flip side of this, what really grinds my gears about this situation is the fact that those fucking assholes at Collider, and you guys know how I feel about Collider and IGN, they can all burn in fucking hell, come out and say, oh my God, It's the end of the world. Fans are getting what they want. This is a slippery slope. Studios might actually start listening to people. And it's like,
Oh no.
I was like,
We can't
I
give
was
the
like,
fans what they want. No, don't let it happen.
Collider, there's a reason your YouTube channel fucking broke up. It's because you did exactly the opposite of that. You decided to shill and kiss everybody's ass. And how did that work out for you? So maybe giving people what they want isn't a fucking bad idea. Oh my God. You know, giving people something they actually want to see, pay money for. Holy shit, Stevie, I didn't know, but apparently that's how capitalism works.
Yeah, sounds really weird, man. I don't know what you're talking about. Why would you give an audience or a customer anything that they want? That's just ridiculous.
That is.
Strange.
I mean, you know, like how many people wanted to see a broke down Luke Skywalker who throws his lightsaber over his shoulder in the first fucking scene and brushes his shoulder
I don't know,
off
is that
like
purple
Jay-Z?
bastard still in the chat?
Okay, all right, I stand corrected. One crazy person in the world wanted to see that.
I wanted to see Luke Skywalker be a punk. Fuck off.
Well,
Love you, Perk.
But you know who's happy about this? And you know what? I want to validate them because when I seen this picture side by side and I've got it in the group chat, I wish I could show it like on screen, but it's from Cosmic Comic Book News. It's Ben Affleck, and he talks
Stevie.
about how he's
Hold
very
on. Stevie, are you on your computer?
that's a negative Ghost Rider. The pattern is full.
Damn. Never mind.
What's
Oh!
up?
Yo,
You speak and he shall be summoned.
Bro, I was literally like in the back for like 30 minutes, bro.
Perp is the Snyder Cut, and now he's been released.
So
We released the perp cut.
What you mean? I'm just in time.
Yeah. You're
Yep.
you're on pop culture time.
Okay.
So we're talking about the Snyder Cut here, and I'm of two opinions of this. I said the first one is no one on this channel, and I'm sure you know you've had these discussions too. No one on this channel validated those idiots, but at the same point, I also don't prescribe to what Collider and IGN are saying about how this is a terrible move and how the film industry is bending to trolls. Because yes, they used trolls and
I don't
basement
think that you can
dwellers.
prescribe to it. That's not how prescriptions work.
So
Salute.
Would you like to subscribe?
I tend to agree with Zod on this, but in a different way. So I've got two trains of thought on it as well. And one of the trains of thought is that I just don't care. I do not care about the Snyder Cut. It doesn't interest me at all. I'm not interested in the content whatsoever. And I'll get into why in a minute, talking about Justice League and all that. But the other side of me says, well, Joss Whedon reshot 70% of the film when he took over. So that means that there's 70% of what Snyder wanted that never got seen. So I can understand why some people want to see that because they think it's going to be great. And good luck to them. I'm happy that they got what they wanted. They want the Snyder Cut, all that. Personally, it doesn't interest me whatsoever because there's still going to be at least 30% of the theatrical version in there. And the theatrical version was 100% shit. So I don't really want to see any of it. But I can understand why people are happy that they got it. And yeah, Joss Whedon reshot 70% of it, and it wasn't all his fault either. The studio made him do it. So I can understand that train of thought. But Justice League was crap. And even with additional footage and all that, unless they can go back in time with a DeLorean and do it how it was originally intended, as Justice League Part 1 and Part 2, and it done properly over 4 to 6 hours, then no, I don't care about it.
It's going to be 4 hours.
You got a question for me?
Do you? Yes. Now I forgot what the fuck it was. God damn it. It was something to do with with
Snyder
how
Cut?
much they shot of it. Yeah.
Yeah, so 70%
Did
they said.
they when here's what it was. If he reshot 70%, did they rewrite 70% of it or just reshoot?
So I don't think the rewriting was 70%. It was definitely substantial though. It was probably around the 50% mark. It was rewritten. But it was
Okay, so
definitely
you're still going to get the
70% reshot.
majority of the Zack Snyder story in
Yeah, exactly.
the cut that we've all seen already.
I just have to bring this up real quick. Like, do you guys watch The Critical Drinker? His
Yes.
videos, fucking funny. But
I've seen one or two of his videos.
He's using Henry Cavill bad CGI as one of his his quick cut edits. You know, where you put a funny thing in between what you're showing. It's funny as. Have you guys seen that at all? And every time
I haven't seen one of those yet.
Well, every time I hear someone say Justice League, all I can see is that funny clip that he's got in his video of the shithouse mouth that Henry Cavill's got in that one scene, and I can't get past it. I can't get past that at all.
Well,
Yeah, like you got 2 hours of a movie and you wasted on a scene that nobody gave a shit about. Why?
and like, here's the other thing too that I have said is that unless they redo BVS, you still have the same storyline that followed from that movie. And you know what? I feel like I always have to put this disclaimer before I get into it, because then they're like, "Oh, you're not a real DC fan if you didn't like that." I've gotten into that fucking circle debate, and
I know what the answer is. Finish and then I'll rebuttal, or I'll add on, not rebuttal.
so here's the thing. If you take the storyline that was in BVS and that was part of everything Zack Snyder intended to shoot in that movie, right? Except for the Ultimate Edition had a little bit more, which gave more context and then fits the fucking movie, you fucking weirdos. But anyways, if you take that storyline and still continue it into Justice League, that storyline wasn't particularly the best. I was just hoping it got better in Justice League, and I saw Darkseid. Apparently Darkseid was supposed to be in the film somewhere, and then part two.
So you are one of those people that is going to be satiated with a Darkseid cameo at the end.
That's our Thanos. So yeah.
Oh no.
Darkseid is exactly like Thanos.
Darkseid is so much more and better than Thanos. Oh my God!
Thank you.
Guys,
we agree on something. Yes, I agree with you.
Darkseid would stomp this shit.
Like, Darkseid is if you would take Thanos and Apocalypse and put them together. Then you might have Darkseid, maybe.
But I mean, okay. Semantics aside, my whole point is that you still had a shit story, and no one on this fucking planet can ever tell me that Jesse Eisenberg
was a shit story. But you said you just want to see stuff, so you're going to see Darkseid, and then you said you wanted to see it darker. So I know one thing that they could do that would make it darker. They could, when Superman comes back to life in Justice League, like he has to anyways in the movie, that's obviously a Zack Snyder thing, not a Joss Whedon thing. Duh. So when he comes back and he's beating the hell out of the Justice League, he can laser eye beam off Aquaman's arm. Boom.
Oh, yes. And that did happen to Aquaman.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Great.
You're just gonna. This entire thing is exclusively for the spectacle. So if they can take the final scene of Rogue One and turn that into a 4-hour story, yeah, I bet it's going to look spectacular. It's still going to be dumb as fuck, but it's going to look great.
Yeah, and plus, too, they were going to have a cameo for Martian Manhunter, and I was curious to see how he's going to do Martian Manhunter. That would have been epic. I heard things thrown around, like a
Hmm.
dark version of him and stuff. And I was like, oh, okay,
Like
this could be good.
he's gonna be green or he's gonna be a black man.
Either one works. He's taking
He gonna
those
be black.
forms.
He gonna be
Well, I
black.
mean, are we gonna know he's the Martian Manhunter, or is it just gonna be a black guy walking down the street and they'll be like, "Don't mind him, that's just John."
Oh, but we'd still get the reference. We'd get the reference. That's. I just want a nod. But I mean,
Oh man, you're right, because yeah, you're not gonna fix anything that was set up in BVS. It's damn near impossible, and adding 2 hours, making the story twice as long, doesn't fix the story.
no, it doesn't, and that's what people fail to see.
They're still gonna fight Doomsday. Lex Luthor's still gonna be a fucking little bitch.
Don't even get me like the fact that anyone could say that Lex Luthor was good. Like, have you guys heard the justifications for that Lex Luthor? Like, people are like, oh, he's supposed to be a more eccentric and a younger version. I go, bullshit. Okay, you're talking to someone who read the comics. There is no fucking version of the comic I've ever seen, or the show, or the animated series, or any fucking medium that Lex Luthor has ever appeared in that has been that fucking
Lex
terrible.
Jr. It's Lex Jr.
No, hold on.
No, there has been no
Geekicidal tendencies. Geekicidal Tendencies said a little while ago, the main difference will be more character backstory. Well, won't that be wonderful? We'll get more character backstory, and Barry Allen will look even more fucking stupid. What? Great. Just fucking great. Like, if you get more time with Barry Allen on screen, he's gonna look more and more like the I don't know, bizarro version of Bart Allen.
Yeah, PB gets really triggered about the whole Flash thing. Me personally, I didn't have a problem, but Flash was never my favorite character.
It's not Barry Allen.
Hey, guess what? Do you know what rhymes with Flash?
No.
Trash.
How did I know?
Yeah, but I can't be knocking on Wally West. He's a ginger. At least the one in the cartoon was. The one on The Flash is black.
There's no problem with those characters, like, for me. But the problem with Justice League was it was like, oh, here's an email. Oh yeah, it's a new character coming in. Better open that email so we've got a new character in the show, in the movie. And then it's before all the characters came in via email, and like got no backstory. There's no previous films.
Wonder Woman has discovered a new player character.
Yeah, exactly. Who the fuck these characters are? It's like they were in actually Ready Player One, and it's like, yep, level unlocked. You just got a new player.
Character unlocked. I was like, fucking A, man. He's a Teen Titan.
But for people who don't read the comics, like most people who don't read the comics, we're trying to watch that movie. It's like, who the fuck's this? Who the fuck's that? Why do we care about them? Why do we care about that person? The only people you know are Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman. That's it. In any kind of real way.
You know who the Flash is. Don't be that guy.
Yeah. You know who the Flash is. But, like, to actually put him into the films, it's just ridiculous. And it just screams of being so try-hard to be like the MCU. Because they're like, shit, the Avengers is so popular. Damn it. Let's get all our characters into a movie. Quick, somebody send some emails with the Flash in there, and Aquaman, and all these other characters. We got to get them in there. Hey, Bruce.
You know how fast you have to send those emails, right?
Super fucking fast.
You got to send those emails in a flash.
Ooh, see what he did there.
Drive.
So Timon Flip says, at Pop Culture PB, new characters with no names, but with logos made by Lex Luthor.
Hell yeah, exactly. He designed
and
all of the logos. They got beautiful logos as Wonder Woman discovers them.
and
Because
here's the
she
thing.
stole it from Batman.
Here's the thing too. He didn't shave his head until the end of the movie. Never mind. I'm not gonna get on my Lex thing, but recast Lex. Can we CGI him out? He was supposed to be in Justice League. Can we just leave that cut on the floor?
Yeah, well,
or
why
CGI?
don't they just use Henry Cavill's mouth on him? Just use
Well,
that
I know
for
people
everything.
have a big problem with bringing TV actors to movies because, well, they can't do it. But fuck that. They need to go get Michael Rosenbaum because he's the exact right age to play the Lex Luthor that they need.
He is the best Lex, I maintain to this day. I mean, it'd be close for me with Gene Hackman, but those two would probably be the best Lex Luthors of all time. And I will fucking fight anyone to disagree with me on that statement. Nope, no one? Good. Because I don't give a fuck. Those are my Lexes. And as far as I'm concerned, they are cinematic masterpieces. The actors that played them were tremendous. I mean, when I watched Smallville, my bar for Lex was very high because in the Superman mythos, he's one of my favorite villains besides General Zod. It's like General Zod and then Lex Luthor. And
You mean yourself?
yeah. Come on, villain plug. But I mean, Lex needed to be played by someone who, has a lot of complexities to them. And see, Gene Hackman was hilarious, and yet he had this underlining really evil streak. You know what I mean? Like, he could be goofy at times at one moment in those movies, and then in another moment he could kill someone, and you'd be like, it's like really weird. I mean, Stevie, you do movie reviews here. Like, Gene Hackman's performance, how would you categorize that? It's very. It shouldn't work, but it does.
Yeah, but and it's like what you're saying. It's his acting ability that allows that to happen. Because someone else with the same script and screenplay wouldn't work, but Gene Hackman has the skill level to be able to make it work, and he's that kind of actor who's got a presence. I mean, Jesse Eisenberg, nothing against him personally, but he is a little bitch, and so having him play Lex Luthor, like play a villain, no, I'm sorry, no. The only person they could have got to be better is like Michael Cera or something. And have Jonah Hill walking around behind him as well, trying to get alcohol, and McLovin.
Oh my god! Can we have that edit, Stevie? Can we have that edit? I would watch
Release
that movie. I would have that movie. I would watch that movie 1,000 times just for that. That is like the perfect casting.
Now I'm getting all these quotes from Superbad coming into my head, and I'm just laughing it to myself.
Oh my god, that would be the ultimate
I
team.
just think that Zod is being. No, Zod's being extra racist tonight. Like, Perp does movie reviews too. You ain't want to ask him the same question? Ridiculous.
Oh my god, here we go. I'm sorry. I was having flashbacks
I want to ask
him.
the white man.
I was having flashbacks of our Black Panther talk. I apologize. Mr. Perp, who would you have as your Lex Luthor?
3, 2, 1. He's muted. I played you.
I hate you so fucking much.
I don't know what he's doing because he didn't say anything that he was like going to get a drink or anything like that. So I'm not sure what's going on.
I think what Perp said
he's
was
still with us though.
I think Perp said it would be like a Suicide Squad-esque Jared Leto playing Lex Luthor. I think that's what he said.
You know what? I would have. You know what? Jared Leto would have been a better fucking fit for Lex Luthor than Jesse Eisenberg. I mean,
no, but with the same ridiculous acting that he had in Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I just blame poor direction for that. I mean, come on.
He would go all out. He would shave his head right away. He'd have no problem with that.
He'd have no problem sending pig carcasses to the rest of the cast and all of that.
Oh my god. Be like, why did you send me this? Be like, I'm getting into character.
Okay, geekicidal tendencies. I was with you until you said you watched JL multiple times. I've watched Man of Steel multiple times, BVS a couple, Wonder Woman. I've almost broke the fucking DVD, but nah, I can't get behind you with Justice League. I've watched it once, and that was one time too many. And I saw it in the fucking theater, and I was so pissed. I was so pissed off.
This guy. I mean, I thought that Zod was a DC shill. This guy's shilling DC. Or maybe just anti-Marvel shill. You ain't never watched a single Marvel movie more than once. Like, I don't know how many times I've watched Iron Man 2. It's in the hundreds.
Infinity War. I mean
Infinity War, I could probably count. It's a little longer and a lot newer.
But I mean,
that one's probably more in the 50 range.
I can definitely count the amount of times I've watched BVS and Justice League. BVS is 1, and Justice League is twice because the kids wanted to watch it. So that's the amount of times I've watched BVS and Justice League. I've watched Man of Steel more times than that because I actually like Man of Steel, but particularly the part where Zod's neck gets snapped. But I don't really like BVS and Justice League at all.
You know what? That's fucking racist against Kryptonians. And I thought as a minority you would be on my side, but I see Krypton stands alone once again.
Yeah, absolutely they do. I don't know, I'll probably watch BVS in the teens, maybe 20s. Same with Justice League. I don't know, I probably only watch Man of Steel 10 sometimes. I'm not watching it closely. And most of the times that they've been rewatched, it's been like just on in the background when we've been doing a live stream. I haven't rewatched it the way that I rewatch Iron Man, where I go, oh, I was driving home in the car and I had the radio on and Back in Black played. So when I get home, I'm going to watch Iron Man.
Yeah. I can agree with that, although I do have the song from Iron Man 3 by Imagine Dragons, Ready, Aim, Fire. That's my fucking ringtone. I love that. I love that soundtrack. I love all of the soundtracks that they have. Like, they had a great fucking music score, especially in Iron Man. But
so did I hear correctly that Perp has returned?
Yes.
Or did I? Oh, okay. Zod was being racist before.
Oh man, what's new?
I know, right?
It's okay. I'll get everyone in the panel.
He was asking. He goes, Stevie, since you review movies, what do you think about Gene Hackman being Lex Luthor, and who would you want to be Lex Luthor in Justice League? And I was like, dude, Perp reviews movies too, you racist.
How dare you?
Okay, all right. Perp, what do you think of Gene Hackman's performance in Superman or as Lex Luthor? And who would you say was your favorite Lex Luthor in the Superman series?
Not a real fan of Superman like that, so couldn't really answer that.
Well, see, there you go.
That's beautiful. I love it. I love it.
Oh my God.
Dude, like Timon needs to
Welcome
culture
everybody
himself. Did you
back
read
to
this?
Late Night Talks.
Did you read this stuff, Stevie? Stevie, how many times have you seen Joker?
Probably about close to 10.
Yeah,
I was gonna
Timon
say you
slept
own it
once.
now, correct?
Yes, I do own it.
Damn, that's crazy.
Most
Yeah,
definitely.
one time. You seen Joker one time?
Jesus, man, you haven't lived. You can't
Oh
watch it more than
man,
once.
like
I've
you
got
ain't
the
gotta be.
4K.
You don't have to be like the Lonely Banter.
Yeah. Oh my. Oh, that hurts my heart. Anyways, I've got some
I
tonight.
just
I
can't
got
believe
some.
the other ones. Like that one was a little surprising, but he's never seen Wonder Woman. He's never seen Aquaman. What the hell does SS stand for? Is that some Nazi thing?
Let me see. Justice League. SS.
Suicide Squad.
Oh, Suicide Squad.
Suicides. Okay. Just I was running through them in
Yeah.
my head real quick. I
Don't
was like,
worry,
oh
PB.
yeah, Suicide Squad.
Don't worry, PB. It doesn't stand for
Holy shit.
Stuffle. It's not the SS.
Thank God.
Timon, we would have had to question
I'm
some
not
things.
all too surprised that a person, once you got to that point, didn't see BVS at all, or if you had seen BVS, didn't see Justice League at all. That doesn't surprise me entirely. But to then not go and see Aquaman after everything that I'd heard about it, yeah, I'd heard maybe a very small percentage say that it was okay, but I didn't hear anybody say that it was bad. Not even LB said it was bad.
Well, look, for those people that haven't seen some of these movies, and if you really want to know what you have made the right decision on not watching, you could go check out my most recent video on the top 10 worst comic book movies of all time, and I can tell you what's shit. And yeah, so go check that out.
Oh,
Shameless plug.
I like how Stevie
that one's
snuck
right
that
towards
in.
the top, right?
What's that?
485 views from a week ago. That ain't bad.
It's going all right. It's going all right. But I did
So-
have
Well,
some help
hopefully
from
we'll get
Jeff
some more here. I'm
Goldblum.
gonna put it in the chat.
I had some help from Jeff Goldblum with that video.
Really?
You know,
You
Yeah,
know
really.
Jeff Goldblum?
Oh yeah.
you
Really well.
son of a bitch.
He helped me out big time.
If I told y'all I had Kanye's number in my phone, would y'all believe me?
Yes.
No.
Sure, why not?
Okay.
I just figured, brothers stick
Gullible
together.
is not
so,
written
yeah.
on my ceiling.
Okay.
And everybody who hasn't
Oh
been
my
here,
God.
welcome to Late Night
Oh.
Talks.
Oh, sure, yeah, you know Jeff Goldblum. Yeah, 100%. I got no reason not to believe you.
I didn't say I
But you
know
don't
him.
believe
didn't
that
say I know
perp
him.
knows Kanye West.
I didn't
You
say I know
fucking
Jeff
racist.
Goldblum.
Oh my God, no.
I did not say I know Jeff Goldblum. I said he helped me with my video.
Yeah, how did he
Yeah,
help
what-
you with your video?
We'll go fucking watch it. You'll find it.
Oh, what a salesman.
Oh shit.
Because
Oh,
I don't
man.
got to be like Zod. I ain't watched that video yet.
That's all right. I'm
you
not saying
know-
everyone has to watch it, but if you want to find out how Jeff Goldblum helped me, you can go watch it.
It's definitely
it-
in my soon to watch because it does have a great thumbnail. I love it.
Oh, thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Man, what a night! What a night! So also, I've got a great article here. We're gonna switch gears to Rise of Trash for a second, and yeah, there's a new article from Digital Spy, and they say Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker's first MacGuffin makes no sense. What MacGuffin is that?
What about a McMuffin?
Oh man,
Yeah, it would
raccoon sources.
it
What
would have
about
made
a
much
McMuffin?
more sense if it was a McMuffin for sure.
McMuffins are good. They're delicious.
No, a
The
MacGuffin is a
rise of the
nonsensical thing they put in a
McMuffin.
movie just to drive the story. It's specifically there
Start
to move
frying your eggs now.
So are you talking about Ray? Is Ray the MacGuffin?
Oh yeah,
She's a nonsensical thing they put in a movie.
I didn't read the article.
correct,
All I
correct.
saw was the picture of the thumbnail. So I'm guessing the first McMuffin they're talking about is the dagger.
Yep. We know for a fact that there's another plot hole surprise in Rise of Skywalker. Should this come as a surprise to no one? But with all the spare time on our hands, what better thing to do than to rewatch and nitpick? Star Wars: The Rise of Trash saw Rey chasing after a MacGuffin to bring her to another MacGuffin to bring her to Palpatine,
Another McMuffin to bring to Palpatine.
who
To
was
finally
hiding
make her way to McDonald's.
to find out who was hiding out on Exegol. The first MacGuffin was a dagger, once in possession of a brand new baddie named Ochi Beston. Whatever. I don't fucking care about these names. This all begins with Poe.
Yeah, I wouldn't care about them either if I wasn't able to pronounce them.
Kryptonian. God, you racist bastards. This all begins when Poe delivers one of the best one-liners of all time. Wow. Which also sums up the Rise of Skywalker storytelling somehow. Palpatine has returned. Rey recognizes the name.
I thought they were going to say, I'm gay.
Rey recognizes the name of the planet Exegol and finds, or because she finds it in Luke's diary, that he was on the hunt for the Wayfinder. Jesus Christ! His journey had ended. So Rey and her merry band of followers head to Pansna, or whatever the fuck that planet was, where they discover no, not the Wayfinder, but the dagger. Lando says that he and Luke were looking for a clue to lead to the Wayfinder, but never found it. Ignoring the questionable logic of this plot, the dagger itself throws up a big problem for the entire MacGuffin Palpatine journey. The dagger has a map in it, and somehow magically it aligns with the wreckage of the Star Destroyer that crashed on the moon of Endor. There's a lot of other wildly impossible things that they had to have happen in order for the dagger to function for Rey or anyone else. The moon upon which the Death Star 2 crashed is full of turbulent waters, and to think that the wreckage had shifted at such a way that they might dislodge the Wayfinder is a stretch. Even if we could accept the dagger was made with the wreckage placement in mind, the waves certainly look like they could shift some of the scraps around a bit. Then there's the other fact: Rey, Poe, and Finn would have to have landed on Kef in the exact right place so that that upon seeing the Death Star 2, the dagger would line up to it. If it had been in a particularly different location or even a little ways up the coast, the dagger would be at the wrong spot. Whoever made the dagger would also whoever had made the dagger would also have to have known how the Death Star 2 would have crashed, as it could have been very easily ended up with the vault section submerged in the water. Again, the dagger wouldn't have worked.
I love that. They would have had to known it crashed because it didn't fucking explode into a billion fucking pieces.
There was nothing left. There was no Death Star.
So all
God
this
damn. Continue.
so all this to say is plenty of leaps of faith were needed to believe that the dagger would do what it was set out to do. Just another big thing that Star Wars universe another little thing in the Star Wars universe to cause us to have contentions about. No, pretty much that whole movie was a giant contention. I mean, the whole movie, just going into it, I had to suspend all belief in everything. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure in all seriousness, you guys all know what MacGuffins are. And this movie had so many fucking, we won't even call it MacGuffins, we'll call it coincidences and things that had to line up perfectly in order for this story to work. And there comes a point where you're just like, I have to dispense logic in order to even believe that any of this shit could line up to make this work. I mean, Stevie, what do you think about these stunning revelations?
I think Rise of Skywalker was complete shit. I mean, to the laziness of the writing is just astounding to me. Like, let's go back and talk about the best Star Wars film, Empire Strikes Back, right? So in that, really, the MacGuffin of that is Luke trying to find who he is himself. That's the MacGuffin, if you want to call it that, or you want to make an equivalency. So it's actually got real depth to it, and it's a simple story, but it has meaning because the characters have depth. The actors are good, and the way that it's done is brilliant. And when you go to Rise of Skywalker, it's lazy MacGuffin writing. So what should we have the characters do in this film? Let's have them all go chase this so that they can get that, so that they can get to this place where more ridiculous shit happens. So if they had just stripped all of that back down and made it about a character, even just one, but they could have made it about multiple characters, stripped it down and made it about a single character that we actually gave a shit about, then they could have had something really good. But they didn't. They wanted to make it more about the MacGuffins and getting from place to place, displaying some of Rey's almighty powers, and they really made the story have no depth whatsoever. There was no connection between any of the characters on screen, and no connection between the characters and the audience either. So, I mean, they failed.
Yeah, but she blew up that ship with the lightning.
Bullshit. It's just stupid. It's just stupidity. Like, I watched Rise of Skywalker at the cinema with my kids, and like they liked it because, of course, it's there's shiny lights and there's things happening and there's some lightsabers and stuff, so they're cool with it. But I was just watching it going. I did have to laugh at a few points where he retconned Rian Johnson stuff, but I was watching it and going, what is this? Like, what am I actually watching here? It's kind of funny in some parts because like it's a slap in the face to Rian Johnson, but I mean, it was just a complete and utter mess. The whole thing was an absolute mess, and like the fact that the Emperor's back, I don't like that anyway. But the way that they did that, I mean, really, that's how he's back, and then Snoke's in a jar and stuff. Like, what the hell? What are you even on about? Complete and utter mess.
Yeah, and that's the thing that is the difference between actually good film writers and things like that. Could you have fixed everything? Probably not. But my whole thing is that the best way to go about it would have been to maybe do something between Kylo Ren and Rey, as opposed to focusing on, trying to get some kind of nostalgia going. Just focus on the story. And the biggest thing that I feel like this movie fails at is it has to try to have these bullshit little things and coincidences in it just to have everything tie together, because they can't write the story. They can't write the story doing the way that he originally wanted to do it without having all of these little like coincidences and MacGuffins and bullshit things that have to pop up just to get them from scene to scene. You could tell where there's struggle in the writing to have it make sense. And that shit is choppy as hell. Like the first act is like all right, and then the second act is okay, and then the third act just goes off the fucking rails. Like it's just like, yeah, we need a big battle and explosions, and hopefully people will forget that there's like the story is lost in obscurity. Like I really still don't know the story of Rey. I have no clue to this day what Rey's story is, except for she's not important.
Yeah, exactly. But
you mean Miss Palpatine?
But that's what I mean about the character depth. Like there was no depth to any of the characters, and they tried to squeeze everything in, and they tried to have these little moments between whether it was Finn and Poe or it was Poe and Rey, and like trying to make out like they had this little banter thing going on or whatever. But it didn't work because that never existed. There was no time for any of those relationships to build, and they just didn't have that kind of relationship. So when it was happening on screen, you're just like, yeah, well, that was forced. That and it didn't make any sense either. I mean, we all look at the classic C-3PO line where he's saying goodbye to his friends. It's like, I'm saying goodbye to a bunch of fuckers I just met. You can't get away from the feeling of that being forced. You just can't, because it is. There's no build up to that. There's no depth to any of the characters. There's no depth to the relationships between the characters. It's just all crap.
And hopefully we'll escape this pile of shit. We had a great Clone Wars season, so we got that to fall back on, and we got the Mandalorian season 2, which gives me all sorts of hope hearing that fucking casting, and the fact that I will always bring up, I was right, Boba Fett confirmed. Yeah. Anyways, but at least we got some good Star Wars, and hopefully I won't have to see any more of these stupid fucking articles. I find it funny the media has turned on this film, and also they're a bunch of fucking contradictory assholes, because when their subversion of expectations came out, they were kissing fucking Rian Johnson's asshole, and now they've been shitting on Rise of Skywalker. And you know what's hilarious about the whole thing? The whole thing that pisses me off about these articles, and why I bring it up, is because they called us all sorts of names for having an opinion on how shitty The Last Jedi is and the inconsistencies in that film. But yet when they do it, it's okay, because they're a top critic and they know about this shit. They know good Star Wars. They've been kissing Disney's ass now for how many years? They've got that card.
You're not shilling for Disney properly, guy. What's happened?
Just sometimes the mouse agitates me. Don't take away my card to those parties. Okay, I'm just saying. Anyways,
all parties have been postponed due to hysteria,
social distancing.
Speaking of things you want to social distance from, let's talk about Naughty Dog. Yes, even if you're not a fan of video games, that the fucking Last of Us has been making the wagons, is being set up to be a bigger disaster than Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, I thought you were going to say then General Zod.
I'm never a disaster. A wizard arrives right when he means to.
Right.
Well, I don't have much to say about The Last of Us because I'm not really across all that. I mean, I know about like the leaks and the copyright bullshit and all of that, and I don't know. I just think it's all just stupid. But in the vein of social distancing, I do have to get going and put my mask back on and quarantine the shit out of myself. So it's been
That sounds
awesome to be
awful.
back on. It's been awesome to be back
It's
on
been
and talk to you
wonderful
guys.
having you here.
And
Yeah.
everyone in the chat as well. I haven't been able to type, but I've seen some of the comments and stuff. So yeah, some nice comments towards me. Thank you
They
all for
feel
that.
your presence.
Ooh, Stevie
Speaking of
Palpatine in the
which-
house.
Not like that.
Speaking of which, Stevie, it would
Well,
probably be a
maybe.
good time to announce that you will be returning for something I haven't done since we met, but I felt it was appropriate to do. Mr. Stevie J Reviews is going to get his very own fandom talks tomorrow at 3 my
Awesome.
time.
In the PM?
Yes.
Yes, so that
we will-
that crazy US time.
So what's that equate to Australia time?
It's going to be about 6 a.m.
You guys only have one time zone there?
No, multiple
Oh,
time
okay.
zones. Yes,
So
but in
you're going to
my
stay
time
up till
zone,
1 in
it'll
the
be 6.
morning to talk to Zod?
No, it'll be 6 a.m. for me. 6 a.m.
Oh, God.
Are you
Oh,
confused
shit.
yet?
Godspeed.
No, it'll be good. I'm looking forward to it. Be good to catch up.
yes, it'll be a great interview. And Stevie doesn't know, but I'm about to get Oprah Winfrey on his ass. We're going to get into the personal shit about Stevie J Reviews. We're going to talk about his channel. We're going to get into his thoughts and, his hopes and dreams. Maybe I'm looking to get some tears. It'll,
Damn.
You can ask him about Avatar 75.
Yeah.
we'll
And
talk about Avatar.
if it's going to be Oprah-like, this is really important. If it's going to be Oprah-like, do I get a car? Does everybody get a car?
You get a car. You get a car. Everyone in the chat gets a car.
Just look under your seat. Oh, I don't have a seat. Well, then you don't get a fucking car.
Oh, fuck.
So yeah, you guys definitely come back and watch our interview, and also too, we are definitely going to be doing stuff on our Prophets of Geek Culture, and you have to check out Stevie J's videos over there because he's got some there, and they're good. So,
Jew it. Thanks, mate.
no
I'll,
problem.
I will talk to you tomorrow. And PB, good to talk to you again, mate. And chat. Have an awesome
Yep, you
night.
too.
See you later.
See ya.
See you
So it's back to us, man.
Oh, shit. Now I have no buffers.
No buffers, just the two talking shit.
Damn it.
Anyways, so we're gonna get into Naughty Dog, and they have taking censoring these things to the extreme, and the good folks at IGN, because you know how much they like to suck dick over there, they have a interview with the
Jesus
folks.
Christ.
Yeah, let's see what this great stellar interview has to say, and it is entitled Naughty Dog is using Twitter's newest feature to fight The Last of Us spoiler 2 leaks. Or The Last of Us 2 spoiler leaks. Early this month, substantial leaks for The Last of Us 2 made their way online. Since then, it has become sadly easy to come across spoilers for the upcoming game on social media. Some have even taken to responding to every Naughty Dog tweet and Facebook post with leaks. Now, Naughty Dog is using a brand new Twitter tool to try and at least fight spoilers from appearing on particular social media service. It's a tool Twitter began testing yesterday that makes it so accounts can choose who is allowed to respond and give a tweet, even preventing anyone from responding at all. Great job, Twitter. The new Twitter Convo tool lets accounts select who can @mention replies to your tweets. The options include everyone, people you follow, or only people you mention. The latter option makes it so that social media accounts doesn't mention anyone. Nobody can even respond. This is a tool Twitter is testing, and the company has only rolled it out to a certain percentage of users globally. So this is likely not a permanent solution, but given the proliferity of The Last of Us 2 spoilers in such a short amount of time, it is a useful tool to help anyone who doesn't want to see spoilers under every new tweet or update from Naughty Dog. While Twitter's tool may change further along in testing, right now it's looking like a potential way to prevent spoilers from proliferating online, or at least directly underneath tweets that fans are most likely going to see. So, I have some issues with this. Anytime you have a tool that's introduced.
Oh my God, you're not gonna say hello to the new person in the chat?
Yes, I know, Bitchy's in the chat. Hi, Bitchy. Love you. Anyways.
Wow, you sound so happy about it. Like, oh, I was gonna say something, but now I need to hold my tongue because she's listening. Let it fly, man.
So, the love is real.
Oh, Timon Flip says, can I ask you something? Is Zod's native language English? Because mine is Portuguese, and even I think he can't read. And then Bitchy Unicorn said, this is torture. And then told you to go fuck yourself.
Well, that isn't anything new. So this tool, I have a couple of issues with this.
He definitely doesn't speak English. He speaks New Yorker, which means we don't do words with more than 5 letters.
Hey, I'm in my car. So my issue with this,
Jesus.
PB, and I'm sure you can agree, giving a tool like this, and they said globally, but I have a feeling the companies are trying out this tool. This seems like a great way to just about censor everything people want to say. You know, movies, entertainment.
Pretty much. I mean, it's a nice way to set yourself up to only get positive responses, right? Is that the way that you understand it? Because that's the way that I was understanding what you were reading or attempting to read. Like, I didn't hear you ever end a sentence, so I just assumed that you were reading, but it's okay.
Yes, I figured this like what Rotten Tomato has done, right? With the way that they've changed their rating system, how you have to have proof of a movie ticket and all that bullshit, so to make it harder so that people can put ratings down on Rotten Tomato. And sometimes a shitty score has no comment. So, they're just editing and editing and editing so they can boost those ratings. And I feel like Twitter is kind of doing the same thing. Yes, I don't want spoilers, even if a game or a movie is shit. I think it's equally shit to spoil it, but at the same time, then you have people who might comment like, this looks dumb, or, you know, what's the point in doing this? And you'll have a company that'll just censor that. Where will it end? You know, what it starts with censoring these leaks, which they should, but then how far do they go? What, someone says something they don't like and they have this tool and they can just private it.
For sure. I mean,
So,
that's how it works. Like you take a picture of something that I made and you say something about it that I don't like, and I was like, oh, censor.
yeah, and I mean, this
That's
is
how they want it set
supposedly
up because they don't want people to be bullied.
no. And here's the thing. I don't know about you, but I haven't seen this feature for like us or people who are just making comments. There's a lot of fucking things I like to put for people like to not at you know, when you make a thread and then someone jumps in and says something stupid and unfucking related to what you were talking about. That would be great so that I don't have 50 fucking messages that have nothing to do with what I tweet.
Yeah, that's always nice. I mean, if it's obviously has nothing to do with them having their inboxes filled up, because businesses are going to get their inboxes filled up regardless. It has to do with what other people can see you being tagged in.
Yeah, and you know, I don't know. So when they go this far and they start censoring things this much, it sets a dangerous precedent. There are things that should be censored, but it should be on Twitter's end. When they see stuff like this, they should be pulling leaks and things immediately. That to me should be on the monitoring on whatever Twitter monitors, yet we have the Senate who gets
Well,
kicked
I
off every
mean,
5 minutes.
then it's what constitutes a leak per se. Because the best way to attack a leak is to not do anything. Like if you bring zero attention to some Reddit or 4chan leak, the odds of everybody believing it, at least up until the point where you can say with at least a little bit of certainty, like, hey, here are some things in the story or some storyboard things that I've seen that are going to be in the game. And then here's some things that are going to be in the trailer. And then the trailer comes out and they get that part of the spoiler right. And you go, oh, well, if they got that spot on, and this is posted however many weeks, days, months, whatever, you know, before then, you look at it and you go, oh, well, seems like they got it right. At that point, you go, oh, well, maybe we might have to do something about that because this is gaining a lot of traction because they already know that this person is on the right path. Now, every leak that I've ever seen for any other video game that I've ever seen, none of them, not a single one ever has been 100% correct. There's been some that have been about 90% correct, but never has a single one been 100% correct. Whether that be stuff you're going to see in the game, stuff that's going to happen in the story, and that can be the same for movie leaks too. And that's probably even less so. Like I saw the freaking Endgame leaks, didn't give anything away.
No,
everybody had the leaks for the Rise of Skywalker. They were reading those for months and months and months. And I was like, yeah, I watched a bunch of different live streams. I watched a bunch of different videos of people going over these alleged leaks. And I'm sorry, it wasn't a leak. It was a rumor repeated by somebody, repeated by somebody, repeated by somebody. And yeah, there was a bunch of stuff in it that was correct. That doesn't make it a leak.
Exactly.
I mean, it might have been partially a leak, but as soon as you add one piece of information to it that is incorrect, you just put everything into the rumor mill. Like, let me grab my salt shaker and read this article.
And here's the other thing too.
Like, you
Naughty
cannot
Dog.
give any credence to leaks ever. Don't ever give any credence to them ever. Somebody says, "Oh, this has been retweeted 1,000,000 times because this is the story for The Last of Us 2." They should have came out and said nothing. Nothing. Don't acknowledge it at all. Just let everybody be upset and continue to say nothing. Because guess what? Then all of the people that watched those people's videos, there's going to be at least a nominal percentage of people that may have not bought the game previously and are going to buy it now to see if this is true.
Yeah, and
People don't be trusting people. Like, they'll listen to the rumor and be like, "Oh, that's intriguing," but that don't mean that they trust them 100%.
yeah, and here's the other thing about this too. This fuck up was not on the side. This wasn't just some random YouTuber or an insider that leaked this information. This was someone they fired from their own studio. So this leak that came out, this clip of actual footage, was from someone who worked on the game. The fuck up was on their end. The fact that they're saying it's people leaking stuff. No, people aren't leaking stuff. They're taking stuff that was leaked from someone within the company and they're just reposting it or, making a video about it. But it's not anything that was like pulled from sources or, like in Marvel Strike Force, we have what's called data mines where it's stuff that could happen. You know what I mean? Or characters that should come out that kind of fall in line with characters we already have, or they rumored by the company that they might be coming out, and this is why it's likely this character will be released. And sometimes it's true, sometimes it's not. I.e., rumors, right? This was from a guy fucking working on the project that leaked their own shit. So to come out and say all these people are posting spoilers, they're not really posting the spoilers. It came from within the company itself.
Right. I mean, that usually comes down to whatever the person's interpretation is of posting spoilers or leaks or rumors or whatever. Because they're like, "Oh, well, you're the one sharing all the leaks." And you're like, "I just shared something that someone else shared." And it's like, yeah, but you forwarded it. Like, you helped more people see it. You got it into the recommended feed of that extra 100 or extra 1,000 or 10,000, depending on who the hell you are. Shit, extra million people. I don't fucking know who the hell's out there retweeting shit. I have no idea. I don't have that many people looking at my goddamn tweets. Neither do you. That's not the point. The point is, I am not the type of person who's going to perpetuate any kind of leaks in any aspect, games, movies, TV shows. If they're like, "Hey, this actor got cast to be," "Oh, we got somebody joining us. Why don't you say something, guy?"
You were on a roll.
Hey guys, how's it going?
It is going good. How are you doing on this wonderful night?
What? Pretty good. Just like a little tired. Work was a little busy today, but yeah, I'm hoping I don't get called in. I actually have my phone with me here, but yeah, what did I miss?
Oh boy, we had an Australian, we had a purple man. We were talking about Tenet, releasing the Snyder Cut, all that, all the normal shit floating around.
Oh,
so
I didn't talk about the Snyder Cut.
So
you didn't talk about it?
I ain't talking about the Snyder Cut. They talked about the Snyder Cut. I've said too many things about it.
No, No, I was hearing a bit about it, like just online. Is it so they're are they releasing a new movie or are they making it like a 6-part series or something like that?
That is
The
the
way that
mystery.
I
It is.
read it is they haven't even decided yet.
Yeah. I think everything's probably still up in
I
the
mean,
air.
if they're gonna put it on HBO Max, which is a monthly subscription service, I would put my bottom dollar on that they would put it in 6 installments that they're going to release in a weekly fashion, so that you got to stick around for more than a month.
Yeah, I feel like that'd make the most sense, probably. Kind of like a Game
I
of
mean,
Thrones happening every week.
right. I mean, they got to figure out how to make some kind of money back if they're going to spend 20 to 30 million dollars finishing off this cut.
I know. I heard about that too. And did you guys like the Justice League movie back in 2017?
No, it's trash.
Yeah, I don't know.
No.
Not really, eh? Not too crazy about it.
Yeah, you got those wacky diehards Snyder fans that we talk about who are like, release the Snyder Cut, and it's like, you do realize the subsequent movies don't make for that to be the greatest movie. Like, Zack Snyder didn't fix the designated problems. It was just whatever shit he had in there was cut from the original. So, you know, Geekicidal Tendencies is right. I read that too. It's 30 million and it's supposed to be 4.5 hours. It was a 2-part movie that
Oh my
they
God,
can.
they added another half an hour? I don't have this kind of time to donate to trash.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't. It seems like they cut a lot of the footage. Yeah, I don't know how I felt about the movie. I feel like it was okay, but not super memorable. I don't know if that makes sense.
I mean, it looks shiny. Yeah, I'll give it credit for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't
There
know.
was stuff. But yeah, so we were talking about the whole Last of Us situation and Naughty Dog just fucking up all the way around. And now Twitter developed a tool because of this unfortunate situation with these leaks where the company can choose whether or not they you can even comment on anything they post now.
Wait,
So
which leaks specifically? Sorry, if you know
everything.
more about this than me, this is the heads up.
There were leaks about main story points, some cinematic footage, a lot of different things. They fired one of the people who helped create the games, apparently, and they got pissed off, so they leaked some stuff. And you know how the internet goes. People grabbed it and started talking about it, and now it's just become a real shit show. And Naughty Dog, instead of ignoring it, they went and did the exact opposite and started trying to stop these leaks from coming out. So
Well, that's
yeah,
seems like a hot mess.
it is. It is a hot mess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
so that was the tirade that I was going off on when you showed up, essentially just saying that the only way to deal with leaks as a company is to not acknowledge them. As soon as you acknowledge them, people look at them even more.
Yeah, I know that's true. It's kind of like saying, "Don't look at this," and then that'll just make everyone want to look. Kind of thing, you know.
Right, like as soon as they started striking people's videos, more people made videos about it.
Yeah. I hate when they do that, like try to control what people say. I don't know. I just say.
Oh, yeah, because that's at least the way I understood it with this story. Specifically, that's what it was. They were trying to control the flow of information because people were upset about the way the story played out because of how specific the spoilers were in the leak, apparently.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a tough one. It's hard with the internet because everything, once it's out there, like it's out there. It's hard to control, so it's a tough one.
My whole point is, with the company giving restrictions like this, where does that end? Because just taking out this Last of Us situation, which is kind of unique, right? Where does it end that companies or major companies can't then decide what's being said?
Yeah, no, exactly.
We had
Right,
these
that means I
people.
can't go when I get my Big Mac at McDonald's. I can't shitpost a picture saying that they assembled it crooked, you bastards.
I mean, there's the big question of when does it look, I believe some things should be left to the imagination. I don't want to see fucking spoilers on anything I want to watch or see. That's why I get off the internet when there's a particular show or movie coming out, because I don't want anyone to fucking ruin it for me. But with that being said, when people do have the right to make speculation and things like that, so how do you even distinguish what's a rumor, what's not? And to the same point, how do you distinguish them just censoring, say, a rumor or a leak, or someone commenting on how much they don't like something?
I know. I don't know. How do they do that? I mean, do they look at it like on a case by case basis, or I don't know. That's a tricky one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So my
They probably just have to run it through the Terrence bot and see what he says.
Let the bot go. Yeah. No.
Oh,
If you were around last summer, you would know who Terrence is. He's a guy that comes in here and can never answer any of my fucking questions.
Oh, how come? What's the story?
I don't know, because he's trolling me all the time. Like, I asked him what his favorite cookie is. He can't tell me what his favorite cookie is. I had a 20-minute conversation with this bitch just to try and get what his favorite cookie is. An Australian guy shows up and he's like, hey, what's your 3 favorite cookies? Answered him, no problem. He said, what's your favorite out of those 3? Answered him, no problem. I lost it.
So he specifically gives you a hard time.
Yep.
It would seem. Oh man, trolling at its finest, eh?
It had to be. It's like, you've got to be kidding me.
so
But yeah, I don't think they have enough manpower to do it on a case by case basis. Because if that's the case, like if you have one person to look at one tweet, like you have to read through it and you got to like understand its intent and be like, okay, well, they just said fuck Naughty Dog. Okay, I guess we can put that out there. You're going to get 10,000 of those an hour. How long does it take for you to just sift through those? Like, I don't even check my email all the time because I was like, I don't want to sift through all of the bullshit.
Yeah. I don't know. I think maybe they should just let it be. Let it go. I don't know.
That's what I thought. Like, I don't know how they're going to use this new tool if they were already abusing the copyright law or whatever guidelines that YouTube has, where they're just like, hey, they made a Naughty Dog video, strike that. Oh, they said wonderful things about us, don't worry about it, just strike that. It says Naughty Dog in the title, strike that.
Yeah, I don't like too much control over free speech. I don't know. I don't like all like the guidelines,
Right, like
striking, and
you're supposed to be an impartial third party. That's the whole point. You're not supposed to be putting the what do I want to say? The corporation above the individual person on a social media platform. Like, I understand that you make your money off of the advertising, and certain companies are going to say, oh, well, you let all of these people on your platform say all of these things about us. We're not going to advertise with you. Well, guess what? I bet there's somebody else that will make up that revenue if you just allow yourself to be open and honest, because people appreciate that.
Yeah, that's true. I think more than they realize, people appreciate that. And other apps do that too, right? Like Facebook is kind of like that also. And just with things in general, like if you mention certain words, like they'll try and warn you about it. And I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of that personally. But.
Yes, I
That's
agree.
what they said was happening to everybody when the coronavirus was starting. You have to wait so long into the video before you say it. A bunch of people were finding odd ways of saying it so that they wouldn't get demonetized, because they talk about like current news or something like that. Well, when it was the only thing to talk about, and they don't want you talking about it, they just want CBS, ABC, Fox, all of the networks to be talking about the news. So they go, oh, well, we'll demonetize your video. And the demonetized videos get moved to the bottom of the recommended, bottom to the search algorithm, because YouTube ain't going to make any money off them. So why the fuck do they care if people watch them? You got to search for videos that are demonetized when they're all under the umbrella of just, world news or current news or something like that. And people were calling it like beer flu and shit like that, just to get around those little hiccups where they were like, oh, it's a random person talking about coronavirus, demonetize it. Fuck them over real quick.
Yeah. I know. That's so silly because I mean, like, we're in a pandemic now. Like, people have COVID. It shouldn't be. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have mentioned it. I don't know. But like,
That's right. I live demonetized. Continue.
That's right.
No, but it's like, it's silly to think about, because it's something that's happening. Like, why try and hide that? It doesn't change the fact that it's still happening.
No, exactly. It doesn't make any sense. And then they ran into the problem where they set up all of these temporary guidelines, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But then they sent everybody home. So they didn't have the extra manpower there to go through all of the live streams and all of the videos that are getting uploaded to make sure that everything is still, I guess, relatively kosher with what you were just doing last week or last month or whatever the hell you were doing last year, because we're doing the exact same shit.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of not fair in a way. Are they still strict about that, or was that more in the beginning?
I haven't heard as much uproar about it anymore, so I would guess that they fine-tuned their bot that had been looking at people getting demonetized, that you don't hear about it as much, or maybe the people that it was happening to found a workaround. They're like, well, I guess I'm not talking about this kind of stuff anymore. I'll make some other type of content. I don't know. Like, yeah. I didn't watch a lot of those style of videos, but you hear people talking about it. You see articles here, articles there. I don't read all of them, but I definitely see plenty of headlines.
Yeah.
And then you hear people talk about it and you go, well, why the hell are you doing that? Because just like you said, everybody already knows.
Yeah. I know. It's not like it's not all over the news, so I don't know what the difference is if people talk about it or not.
So yeah, it's like, yeah, let's hide the obvious truth.
Yeah, no, for sure. I couldn't agree more.
I don't know. People are dumb.
And this really swings back around to just the entertainment in general and how it's getting everything we've talked about with people tap dancing and talking around issues, and the censorship on Twitter and things like that. I just think in general it's getting ridiculous. Is talking about in relation to the Snyder Cut, same thing. Now you have a bunch of articles coming out about, oh no, fans are getting what they want. God forbid, fans that buy merchandise and spend years watching your shit.
I swear to God, every single person that wrote one of those articles wrote the exact same article, 5 months ago, 6 months ago for Sonic, and they just went back, erased the word Sonic, kept the S, and just wrote Snyder Cut. It's the same article. It's the exact same thing that all of these same people said then. Oh, these fans are going to be getting entitled, expecting everything that they asked for because one group got one thing. I was like, that already happened. Like, people already got stuff, but nobody got any more entitled. Like, you don't see people saying, like, oh, we need to go back and redo Endgame because it's confusing. And I don't like how they do the time travel.
Yeah, that's true. But it's nice when they can listen to the fans, though, and give them what they want. They kind of did that for the Clone Wars, too, also.
Yeah.
I got no problem with them getting their cut because when it's just as terrible as the regular Justice League, because it's the same story, just longer, I can laugh even harder.
But I wonder if it'll be different, though. It seems like, based off of what I was reading a bit, they had a lot in store and a lot filmed that hadn't made it to the final cut. And it kind of almost seems like a different story. I don't know. I don't know how that'll translate to, the actual, like what's actually aired. So, but it seems like some pretty
Well, I mean, when we were talking about it earlier, Geekicidal Tendencies said in the chat that apparently a lot of the stuff that was cut was going to give you more backstory on the characters. And I said, oh joy, more backstory on Ezra Miller's Flash. Where do I sign up to blow my brains out?
So I'm guessing you're not super interested in that part of the...
Dude, he's the worst Flash of all time.
Interesting. So he kind of, yeah, I don't know. Like I think it's been a while since I've watched the movie, but I remember him being kind of funny.
With good reason.
What was that?
Oh, I said with good reason why you haven't watched it in a while.
Oh. No, I think I just seen it in theaters, and then I don't know if we ever watched it after that, but yeah, I don't know. I guess what was the main concern with him that most people had?
The biggest problem is his name is Barry Allen, and they make him act like Wally West.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah.
You Snickerzod, but you know it's a problem.
Okay, here's my whole debate on the thing. I did not necessarily have a problem with that in the film because I'm not the biggest Flash fan in the world. So I was just like, oh, whatever. I always thought in general, in the comics, in the television show, and in the animated series that he was like my least favorite. I mean, he just fucking runs fast. And I know, yes, he creates the Speed Force and he can run fast enough to go back through time and all that bullshit. But still, when you boil down what his powers is, he can run really fucking fast. So can Sonic. So for me, he's like the Hulk in MCU. I don't find either of them really interesting characters. So when people get mad about them, I just find it hilarious because I think every version of the Flash is shitty, except for the 92 one was okay. But the rest of them I could take or leave. But at the same
The
point,
92 version of the Flash is still better than Ezra Miller.
the 92 Flash is better than most versions. That was like, for me, that was the pinnacle of Flash shows where I was like, oh, I can kind of get into this character. And then, another version came out and I go, oh, I remember why I don't like this character. But I mean, in styles of how he does it, I thought that they did do it over the top with his jokes, but at the same time, he did have some pretty good one-liners in there. Like
Barry Allen doesn't tell jokes.
Yes, I know you, Flash purist. It was still funny.
I can't remember what he said, but there are a couple moments I think where he added the humor. But I mean, yeah, I used to watch the Flash TV show with Grant Gustin, but I haven't been following that recently. Like I stopped like a couple of seasons ago. Like it was kind of like going a bit downhill. But yeah, I think he wasn't really. I don't think he cracked jokes in the same way that Ezra Miller's Flash
That's
did.
because that's not who Barry Allen is. Barry Allen is the stoic, courageous Flash, not the wisecracking motherfucker like Wally West. Zod.
I don't think the one with Grant Gustin, I don't think Wally West in that show was that humorous either. I remember him being more sad, if that makes sense. I don't know if they wrote him kind of differently.
Well, I mean, in the cartoon version, he is a white ginger man, and he's quite the comical character for the Justice League.
Yeah, I think I remember. I'm not like super knowledgeable about everything that happened in the cartoons and the comics, but I do know a little bit. I know I watched some with my dad, and then I remember the Flash kind of being goofy. Like there was one part I think where he was supposed to be behaving like a bad guy or something and didn't wash his hands.
Yes, yes, that is one of the best episodes. Him and Lex Luthor switch bodies.
Yeah, I think that was the one I remember. So that was Wally West, right?
Yes, that's Wally West. And Lex Luthor peels off the mask and goes, "Who the hell is this guy?"
Yeah, see, I vaguely remember a little bit, and I'll probably go back and watch some. But yeah, my dad probably knows more about this than I do. He's like really into DC and Marvel and all that, like he knows the comics and the cartoons and everything that happens. So
so he hates Justice League the movie.
I don't know if he hated it, but I think he didn't really like it as much. He prefers I think he prefers the Marvel movies, but the DC TV shows. So he didn't like how they made a Justice League movie before having each superhero have their own individual movie, like how Marvel did it.
Oh, your dad sounds like a smart guy.
He's very smart. Yeah, I think he kind of wanted to see that because you know how they had like Marvel had Iron Man and they had Captain America and like they each had their own show and then so when you see them all together in the Avengers, you kind of have a backstory on each of them. But Justice League kind of went right into Justice League, so like people watching it for the first time, they wouldn't really know the characters. So yeah.
Not to mention they use a Teen Titan.
Which one was I'm trying to think back again.
Cyborg, man, that's a Teen Titan. That is not a Justice League member. That is a Teen Titan. He's supposed to be Green Lantern.
Cyborg was both Justice
Really?
League.
He's one of the original 7? He's one of the original 7?
I remember him in Teen Titans, actually. I used to watch that.
Bullshit!
Yes, Cyborg is one of the original Justice League members. And he was
It's
also
not
a member of
what
Teen
I
Titans.
said to you. I said, is he one of the original 7?
Yes.
I don't believe you. I'm gonna wait till Geekicidal Tendencies answers me in the chat. He's still listening.
Wait, let
The
me
7 founding members
Google
does
this.
not include fucking Cyborg, you villain.
Original. I'm Googling it. Hang on. Justice League members.
Oh, he hit the back button. He left. That's hilarious.
Oh, is he gone?
What a putz.
But this is
Yep,
him.
he hit the back button.
Oh, he hit the back button. Oh, he.
Yeah, don't accidentally hit the back button.
What was that?
Don't accidentally hit the back button, or else you'll have to wait till he comes back to re-add you.
Oh. So he's gone right now.
'Cause that's what.
Interesting.
That's what he did. I'm sure he's opening up the StreamYard, and he'll be back in a moment.
Yeah.
There he is.
I am here.
How's your back button working? Oh, she's got the answer.
Better as ever. Better than ever.
Wait, it says originally known as a member of the Teen Titans, Cyborg was established as a founding member of the Justice League in DC's 2011 reboot of its comic book titles and subsequently in the 2016 relaunch of its continuity.
Yes, founding member. Thank you.
He was originally known. Oh, interesting.
Sounds
Yes,
like
so-
there was a retcon in there, guy.
It was not a retcon. He's in every fucking Justice League.
Oh, okay, looks like
Oh my god.
yeah, he's in this picture. See?
Oh no!
There. Looks like. This is hilarious. Where did everyone go?
We're still here.
I don't see you guys. Where are you?
That's because he made you full screen so that you could show the picture.
Oh, okay. Want to do it again or other? Let me see, kind of.
Oh,
Oh, other side. Sorry. You see him though, right?
I do.
The 7.
Yes.
Yeah.
He
Timon Flip said Cyborg replaces Martian Manhunter in the new 52. Blah. I added that end.
Yeah, in the new 52 is most of the new continuity that's used. That's why Cyborg is seen a lot more in the Justice League. Yes, Martian Manhunter was one of the originals, but he had to fuck off and do something. I forgot exactly what it was, or he's killed off, or something that they do whenever they reboot. But he's pretty much been a mainstay, and even when he wasn't technically in the Justice League, he was part of the Teen Titans, which is basically just training to be a member of the Justice League. So
Teen Titans is a bunch of punks run by Robin.
you are smoking
I don't want to
crack.
be run by.
They
I
had
don't want to be
Nightwing
run
as a
by a
fucking-
team that has a sidekick as a leader.
He was not just any sidekick. He was the son of Batman and the daughter of Talia Ghul.
Oh my god!
That is like,
Sidekick.
I don't even consider him a sidekick. I consider him a badass. And you know what? I'm just gonna say
he's
it.
just
better.
Robin, the sidekick to Batman.
I love the debate going on.
This
Every
happens
week.
quite frequently.
This guy
Every
says
week.
something ridiculous.
No, it's funny. I like it. No, I feel like
But,
there's so much I don't know still about DC and Justice League. I'm still kind of learning,
if you want to learn the quickest, the best way to learn all about this is to subscribe to DC Universe. Now for $7.99, you get a whole month free, and you pay monthly subscription. And if you get a $74.99 subscription, you get a year of the great programmings such as Titans, Swamp Thing, Doom Patrol, and Justice League Unlimited and Young Justice. Yes, new seasons of Young Justice. So sign up now and enter promo code ZOD for a special discounted deal.
No way. Interesting. I'm gonna
That
check that
special
out.
discount
Let me
is
check
you
that out.
pay 10% more.
Was that?
It's a terrible deal. Don't input Zod. Don't do it. It's a lie. But like, dude, I thought that you were doing that entire plug for DC Universe as a segue. Are we not talking about Stargirl?
Oh, sorry.
No,
Is that
actually,
good, that show?
we were actually just going to round out about that. That's going to be my last article of the night. Thank you very much. And yeah, so Stargirl. I have brought up an article about a crossover, and it's more than likely, PB, not going to happen because it's a DC Universe show. Thank God.
Supergirl was on CBS.
CBS and DC Universe, these are not the same.
Supergirl used to be on CBS the first time they crossed over with the CW. That's farther away than DC Universe to CW.
CW is a different offshoot of the DC brand. They are like licensing shit out.
So they're
kind of
both
like what
directly
Marvel is
under
doing.
the Warner Media Brothers brand? Is that what you're telling me? Whereas CBS is under Viacom, a completely different brand? Keep digging this hole, guy.
Anyways, Stargirl's Arrowverse crossover is only a matter of time.
Yeah!
Interesting.
According to Stargirl co-creator Jeff Johns, there we go. A crossover between the DC Universe's original series and the CW's Arrowverse is only a matter of time. Asked about the potential for a Stargirl Arrowverse crossover, Johns told CBR, "We're completely open to it. There are many possibilities. You know, clearly we're set on Earth too, so we're on our own Earth, much like the comic books. Whereas we're set on Earth too, and it gives us room to tell our story and history, but also the opportunity for the future to do anything in the comic books or to cross over in other places. Conversations have been had, but it's all of a matter of when it makes sense and if we ever have the best story. If you put CW in that conversation, they don't have the best story. And I've watched...
It's a crossover. You said crossovers are different, guy. You said that earlier before the ATF got here.
Yes, crossovers are different, but not in the DC Universe. This show on DC Universe has actually like a TV PG-13. There's actually more violence and shit. I watched the episode. They cut a lot out. Spoiler alert. They cut a lot out of the CW version. There is like 12 minutes missing and a lot of different content. So that means
10, but whatever.
But that means that they have to water it down for the CW. And if that's the case, fuck them crossing that over. I don't want to see that. That's like trying to cross over Doom Patrol or Titans. That would never happen.
What if they crossed the CW over to the DC Universe? Oh.
Then there'll be better writing and the shows might actually be good.
So you don't like when they water it down, kind of?
No, I do not want to see a watered down version of Doom Patrol. That would be a terrible show and not nearly as good as the version we have now. Brandon Fraser banging his nanny was fucking hilarious, as opposed to you would never see anything like that on CW. Like they illustrated how much of a douchebag he is before he changed, which was important for his arc and made for one of the fucking saddest first episodes I've ever seen for a show. Literally, he has the saddest backstory I've ever fucking seen. Maybe Star-Lord would be close to that one, but he's pretty fucking up there.
I was gonna say, Star-Lord's pretty bad for a backstory. Your mom or your dad killed your mom with cancer? Like that's pretty bad.
That was really
Yeah,
bad.
but he is a brain in an old school 70s looking
He's
robot.
not a brain, he's Kurt Russell.
No, I'm talking about Doom Patrol. Brandon Fraser's character is literally a brain inside of a robot, and he couldn't remember
Right,
what
which means he
happened.
can last for hours. Lucky him.
Yeah, he couldn't remember what happened, and he thought he died in an accident on the racetrack because he's a race car driver, and he actually died in an accident getting his wife and daughter back, and his wife and daughter died in the car, and the last thing he saw is their dead bodies. And he remembers all that shit at the end of the episode.
Whoa, that's pretty depressing.
Yes,
Spoiler
you can't have
alert.
that.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
That-
Fast forward to episode 2.
No, that is like they tell all of their backstories in the first episode.
That was the first
No, I'm
episode?
saying I'm going to fast forward to episode 2.
Oh no, you don't want to do that. I only gave you one. They tell like everyone's backstory in the first episode.
No,
And
I don't need to see a robot crying over his dead family.
Oh, he can't cry. He just gets angry and punches.
I know, he doesn't have tear ducts. He'll rust.
That's a good one. But I
So-
like when shows can be kind of dark sometimes. I don't like them to be too kiddie, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't like when shows are like that. That's one of the big problems I have with regular TV versus even like streaming services like Netflix. I feel like a lot of
Right.
the shows on regular TV, they kind of have to tone it down. And a lot of times it's kind of less interesting almost. I don't know. I appreciate
No,
when
yeah.
stories can be a bit darker, you know.
Right, I agree. Like, on average, when you're watching an adult-themed TV show, you're going to get a lot more of the theme of it on a streaming service than you are watching even the cable networks being like FX or TNT or something like that.
Yeah, no, for sure. I agree.
So yeah, they said
Okay.
the long story short, basically they said it's a possibility, but they don't know yet. Hopefully it never fucking happens. And
Oh, why? I don't understand your apprehension, guy.
because I
Like,
do not
Did you
want
not like Crisis on Infinite Earths?
no, I did not like particular sections of it at all. Kevin Conroy
No,
got killed
that's
by
not what I
fucking
asked
Batwoman.
Did I watch
I
it?
asked if
Well, that
you
was
liked all of
all
it. I didn't ask, did you not like the parts where Batwoman's being a dumb bitch? That's not what I asked you. I asked if you liked these 5 episodes that make up a story.
I like the first 2.
Oh, so then you like Batwoman.
No.
Batwoman is in the first 2.
Okay, I like whichever one was after
Whichever
Batwoman.
ones that you don't even know what you're talking about anymore. You got no clue. You like whichever ones don't involve Batwoman. I got it. You're anti-Katie Kane.
Although she was much more tolerable in the crossover, I will give her that. Supergirl was
Well,
actually
yeah, she
the
was
annoying
much
one.
more tolerable in the crossover. They let her kill Batman.
I think I don't know if I watched that crossover. I feel like I didn't. That was with all of them, right? Like they had
Oh yeah,
Legends in there too. I think.
Yes.
they
That
had
one
the
was actually
Legends.
pretty
They
good.
even had Black Lightning.
Oh, why didn't I watch that? I don't think I did. How long ago did that air? That was a while back, right?
That would have aired over last winter break, technically, because they started it at the like mid-season finales of Supergirl and Batwoman, and then they finished it when they came back from the, I don't know what they take, like a month off or 5 weeks off or something like that. And then they finished it with The Flash, Arrow, and Legends of Tomorrow.
I see. Okay. I'm pretty sure my dad watched that one. I don't think I did though. But I don't know. Is it like worth checking out? The crossover.
I mean, I think that it is. I'm not so sure, like, how invested you are in the characters anymore if you hadn't been watching The Flash the last few seasons. And, I mean, did you watch Arrow anymore?
No, it's like with those shows, I watched a little bit, but I didn't really follow it that much. Like it was kind of more like
Okay.
here and there. I feel like I'd have to go back and watch previous seasons. And The Flash, I was keeping up with it, and then I stopped watching like a couple seasons ago.
Yeah, when it got
Okay.
terrible, that's when I stopped watching.
I can't remember what it. I'm forgetting his name. I stopped watching when he was he like turned himself in or something for a murder he didn't commit.
Oh.
That was whatever season that was is when I stopped watching. I was like, oh, okay, I don't know. Maybe one of these days
Okay.
I'll have to go back and look at it. I don't know.
I stopped watching
yeah.
when they had the 4th fucking speedster in a row. And like, can we get a new villain? And like
Wait,
the
what,
other
did
villain,
you stop reading the comic too then?
I never read the Flash comics. I thought they were fucking
Oh,
stupid
that's right.
because
You
he
hate the
runs
Flash.
fast.
Oh, you know what?
I only watched Flash because it used to be directly tied into Arrow, and they had good crossovers, and that Flash is actually tolerable. And then Iris came into the picture and started having more roll into the show, and I'm like, who
Hey,
the fuck are
man.
you? And how does everyone know his fucking secret? Like, what the fuck, CW? You can't keep secrets. Like, these are superheroes. How the fuck is there that many people who know his identity? Like,
Dude, how many people
those-
knew Clark's secret at season 10?
that is different.
Half
That
the
is a
goddamn
masterful.
Smallville knew his secret.
Only the important half.
But how do they not
And
know?
most
That's
of
what
them
I'm saying.
left
Like
or died
that
anyways.
is how every fucking superhero show goes. They have a secret identity, and the other characters figure it out over time. Some are faster than others. Like the very first season of Arrow, he's the, what do they call him? The Hood, right? He's just called the
Yeah.
Hood for season 1. Right, he's
The
the
Hood.
Hood. And John Diggle doesn't know for what, maybe 8 episodes, 100% that it was him, but he knows 100% somewhere in the second half of the season. He's like, "What, do you think you were fooling me? Like, I know what you're doing." Like he figured it out. He didn't tell him. He's not like, "Hey, John, I got this secret. I'm the Hood. Don't tell anybody." Wink, wink. That isn't what happens. They don't go around telling people their secrets.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that show does it ridiculously.
No, don't use
Doesn't
that
feel like
phrase. If you're just saying, you're just saying nothing.
Yeah.
Anyways,
What's up, King
yeah.
Throne? You just got here in time for me to yell at Zod some more.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
No, I love the debate.
He's talking smack about my CW shows, and he doesn't know what he's talking about. Surprise, surprise.
You're fucking crazy. I've been watching the CW shows for years. I even watched when Vampire Diaries were on. I watched when they fucking drafted Buffy.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, well,
Like-
the CW has Luke Wilson and Amy Smart in a
They do not.
superhero
That is a
show
DC
now.
Universe
That's
show.
pretty high
They
budget.
said in the article it is a DC Universe property that was loaned out to the fucking CW. It is owned, produced, and funded by DC Universe.
It's owned by,
not
it's
by
owned
the
by
fucking
Warner
CW.
Brothers?
These are not the same. Oh,
It's
my
owned by
God.
Warner Brothers? Oh, man.
Okay,
Oh,
I'm
man. So
going
the
to go punch a
crossover.
kid.
Yeah, by next season, they'll be crossing over because it's on
I'm
the
gonna go-
CW. I'll be
I'm
like,
gonna
yeah,
go punch a kitten
we're
now.
ready to go. Dude, all they have to do is jump to Earth 2. You read it in the article. They're just hanging out on Earth 2, waiting for Cisco to come pick them up.
Hopefully, Cisco dies.
Oh my God! What?
Wait, does
Hopefully,
he?
hopefully Cisco dies, and then they can never cross to any other fucking Earth.
I like
You need to
Cisco,
say that.
though.
No, not. No shit. Like,
He was
he
one of the
is
reasons
probably
why I watched the show,
the
actually.
best character on the show.
Yeah, no, he's funny.
Actually, he is the best character. I just don't want them to cross over.
Why do you want him to die?
I don't have a problem with Cisco or the bagel people. I want to clarify that.
No, you're okay. You're right. I would have a problem with if the crossover makes her character cheap. So if they, being Team Flash, went to Earth 2 and they grab Stargirl or multiple members of the Justice Society of America to bring them to Earth Prime to fight whoever, and then her cosmic staff and all of the CGI effects that go with it end up looking like some sci-fi effects instead of some DC Universe effects, because both of us have only watched one episode. That staff looks pretty awesome all the time. Like, at no
Yes.
point does it like have any kind of flicker to it or lose its luminescence or anything like that. Like, who's ever in charge of carrying out that part of the CGI is doing it properly. But if you're going to put it on the CW, like, they don't always follow through properly with the CGI in the ways that they should, because they go, it's good enough, it's just going to be on the CW, it's fine. People just care about how the characters interact with each other and who's going to fall in love. And I was like, that's not what I just care about, but whatever.
That is my whole point, is that the CW is a hit or miss. Either they'll have a really good show that has serviceable special effects but decent characters, or they will have Batwoman.
Wait,
Right, so,
she left Batwoman too, right? Oh, sorry, no.
oh, go ahead.
Yes, Ruby Rose left Batwoman.
That's surprising, actually.
Eh,
Right, like, how will they continue? Are they casting a new Batwoman for season 2, or is there season 2?
Yes.
That's the way that they make it seem.
Mm.
That's what we said.
I mean,
that show was terrible.
I'm not entirely
Ruby.
sure that the show is going to continue, even though they seem pretty adamant that it is. I just don't see how you're going to lose the only name actor that you have. I can't name a single actor's name off of that show, whereas like the other shows that are already established, I could name some of the actors from them because I've already been introduced to them, but I don't know any of the fucking actors on Batwoman. I don't know any of them. I've never seen them in anything ever before that I can remember, unless they were in like some small part in the background or something like that that I don't remember off the top of my head. It's possible. But holy
Or
shit,
can you
it'd be
even
super easy
remember
for them to say, "Hey, we're packing it in. We lost our star. Don't worry about Batwoman."
She's in Earth 3, which we'll never visit.
No, I only knew Ruby Rose too. I don't know anybody else. But I just know her from Orange is the New Black. But
Aha.
yeah, I watched like one episode of Batwoman, and I think that was it. I don't really remember what happened in the episode though. It was a long time ago.
That's okay. No one does.
I bet you
Not
laugh,
a
though.
single person remembers anything that happens in that show, even after you immediately watch the episode. I can tell you, I only remember I've watched 20 episodes to catch up to see if maybe I missed something, which, surprise, I didn't. And I remember about half of them are, it's already fleeing my mind,
Dude.
like all of the terrible ways
Dude,
that they've been.
I can summarize like 3/4 of the Batwoman episodes. She lets the villain go.
Sorry, no, just funny the way you said that. Is that like most of the time?
I told you she's laughing. Best Sunday night comedy.
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. I don't know. I mean, like, yeah. Something was probably not done well with the storytelling there. If like a lot of people felt that way. Because I don't think it got good reviews, right? From what I have heard.
Nope, not at all. From anyone. Even the top critics can't save it with their shillingness. No, they're like, yeah, it's bad. It's pretty bad. Ruby Rose is a strong woman. That's all we got.
Yeah. I don't know, like, yeah. I wonder what could have been done better about it.
Everything. Every single.
I guess probably the biggest thing that could have been done about it is not constantly and incessantly trying to force identity politics into the forefront by essentially telling everybody in at least every other episode, at least that's what it seems like, it's okay to be gay.
Yeah, I feel like it should just kind of come across naturally, like not too forced, if that makes sense.
Right.
A lot of shows are, I think,
exactly.
Yeah, like that's their flaw, and like I don't know. That's one of the things, like a little off topic, but one of the things I like about Ahsoka as a character is they never really forced that like strong woman thing on in their episodes. They kind of just made her a good character and kind of let her character speak for herself. But sometimes with some of these shows, I notice that they do that. They kind of seem to have an agenda, like we're trying to portray this character as, you know, this or whatever, and then it kind of comes across too forced, and then it almost ruins the story. So maybe like that was
it's super forced. They have an entire episode where the premise of the episode is they have to make sure everybody in Gotham and the world knows that Batwoman is a lesbian and does not have any sexual interest in men.
It's a great day to be gay. That was the name of the episode. I knew I was going to remember it. No, I shit you not. That's the title of the episode. It's a great day to be gay. That was because I remember thinking, holy fuck, I wonder what this episode is about.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It just seems like, I don't know. Like it's almost like, why does that matter. I mean, because okay, this is kind of a random thought, but there's
No, it doesn't.
watch. Yeah, like I used to watch the show with J-Lo called Shades of Blue, and then
Oh man, that show was fucking great.
that was a great show. I loved it, and I loved Wozniak. And then I remember in one episode they kind of showed that he was bisexual, but I think like
Yep.
the way they did it, it was kind of just, I don't know how to describe it, but they just had it just come into the story, but they didn't really focus so much on it. I don't know. It's like,
No, they didn't focus on it at all, because I remember me and my wife looking at each other like, is he gay? Like he's got a wife and a child and he loves his wife. Like, since when does he like taking dicks down his throat?
yeah, it was more of like kind of a twist. But then it ended up, I think later in the story, it ended up really adding to the character and adding to the overall storyline. But it was that way because they didn't really like push anything too much. Because even like, you know, I'm like black, right? But if you have like a strong black character,
What?
for me, yeah, like I wouldn't really want to see like a strong black character, but then they're always like pushing the fact that they're strong black character. I'd rather just see a strong character, you know, that happens to be black, if that makes sense. So like in the case of Batwoman, I feel like that would be more effective. Like just have her be a strong character and tell us her story and everything, but don't make it too pushy. I don't know. And then you kind of just let the character speak for itself, you know. I don't know. It's hard to describe how
Well,
to
you
do
just
that.
wanted her to be a strong Batwoman.
Yeah, but they could do that without making it too pushy. I have to point to Ahsoka. I feel like Ahsoka is the best character to illustrate that. I don't know how they did it, but they just never. I don't think I would have liked her if they focused on her like gender so much. You know, if that makes sense. Like if she was with Anakin and she ever said, "Oh, like, how come you think I can't do this? Because I'm not a boy," or like, you know what I mean? They just let her speak for herself. I don't know how to explain how they did that, but it just worked. And whatever it is they did, I think other writers of other shows need to take notes, because that's how you make a character properly, you know. I don't know. That's my like thoughts anyway. But
It would be nice if we could get people to build characters like that. Like, you don't need to give the character all of the characteristics that they're going to have for their entirety of them, like for their series or their growth in season 1. You don't got to give them everything.
yeah, exactly. Just kind of build their character like step by step, like over the course of a certain period of time, you know.
That was one of the things that I brought up about Stargirl. Was in the very first episode, they have one of the villains beat the hell out of her, and she runs away.
Damn. Okay, maybe I should watch the show. Yeah, I mean, like,
on DC Universe.
DC Universe. But it's true.
Sorry.
Like, you want to see your heroes struggle, right? That was what we talked about with Ray. Like, you kind of want to see them have a struggle. So when they overcome that it's more satisfying to watch, and you're able to kind of grow their character more. You can't have them start out perfect, because then it just doesn't make sense.
Exactly. Unless you're General Zod, then you just start out perfect.
Yeah.
But other than that, the World Conquest was very easy for this villain. But I am actually going to start wrapping this up because my phone is dying, and I'm quite tired.
I bet you're going to be wrapping it up. I see what's been being messaged in the chat, you bastards.
No, besides that, my phone is dying, and I woke up 4 o'clock this morning yesterday, so I need some sleep, and I got to interview a dingo, aka Stevie J. So, you know, this has been a great chat. I'm gonna go down the line here, get you all your channels and some love, and say thanks and shit coming up and all that good stuff. Go ahead, Miss Ahsoka. Tell us about your channel and where these people can hear your great insights and thoughts on Star Wars in particular.
Yeah, sure. So my channel is Ahsoka Tano Fan, and I just started it a little over a month ago, actually like a month and a half ago, and I mostly have so far done like reaction and review videos specifically for the Clone Wars, which just recently wrapped up. And yeah, and then I've kind of I just released another video yesterday as well. I'm currently doing a look back at season 7, arc by arc, and then just kind of rewatching them and pointing out other things that I noticed and other parallels that I didn't notice the first time around. And then, yeah, going forward, I'm going to be doing more Star Wars related videos, like keeping up with shows like The Mandalorian and doing reviews that way. And then I'll probably also kind of expand it out to different shows as well, like maybe more in the DC universe or Marvel universe. I'm not 100% sure yet. I kind of just started. I'm kind of new at it, but I'm still seeing where it goes. And yeah, I did a cosplay in one of my videos as well, and I reacted to the episode I was watching in my cosplay. So that was kind of a little fun thing. I'll probably be doing more of that in the future in some way, shape, or form as well. So yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. We'll see where it goes. I'm having fun with it though so far.
Yes, I noticed PB put the initials ATF, and we had to clarify that you will not be rated by the ATF. That was just an abbreviation for.
No. The people in the chat are supposed to go and raid the ATF. Ahsoka Tano fan.
Oh, but thank you for coming on tonight. I told no one as usual, so I figured I know you had to work too, so I didn't want to like promote it, and then you weren't able to make it. So that's the kind of surprise we do here at the late nights. But the next person, he's grossly wrong about his prediction of Dark Knight Rises. That was not.
It's not a prediction. It's a fact of how the movie played out.
He was not fucking Batman. He was fucking Robin, aka Nightwing. He was not taking over the Batman mantle. Anyways,
his name is Robin. His real name is Robin, not his code name.
His name was Grayson. Okay, we're gonna rewatch this. We're gonna rewatch this movie and do a debate on this. Dark Knight Rises. I got it on 4K. Go back through. We're gonna watch it. We're gonna do a stream on this because I'm fairly sure that like the end of the movie, that was like the whole twist. You find out like he was Dick Grayson and he rose into the Batcave. But I know it was a Nightwing suit. It was not the fucking bat suit. No one wears the bat suit but Bruce Wayne.
Okay.
No one in the history of being Batman.
Nobody wears the bat suit except for Bruce Wayne, i.e., no one's ever heard of Terry McGinnis. Yeah, shut your mouth, guy.
Terry McGinnis didn't wear his bat suit. He made his own suit.
Oh, so I didn't say that he was going to wear Bruce Wayne's bat suit, did I? I said he was going to be Batman. King
Sloan says a watch along, bro. Yeah, maybe we should do a watch along. That'd be fun, actually, to point out all that stuff. We might do that. You know what? We'll talk about that. That could be fun. We could debate about the parts in it. And Bane's voice is hilarious because now they use that in the Harley Quinn show, and it sounds fucking funny because in the Harley Quinn show, he talks about blowing stuff up all the time. They're like, yeah, he blew up a stadium. He's like, I didn't like the way they were playing the game.
Did he really say
I forget. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, the Harley Quinn show is fucking hilarious. Like the way they portray the villains in it is hilarious, and they have Kite Man, and he's like the fucking joke of the thing because he goes like his only power is a kite, basically to fly around, and he gets his ass beat by Bane in like the second episode. It was fucking hilarious.
The Harley Quinn show. Maybe I should check that out and see.
Oh yeah, it's very. It was definitely not what I was thinking the whole time. They should have did Birds of Prey like they did the Harley Quinn show. I think a lot more people would have liked it and had, villains that Harley Quinn was with, or, the Birds of Prey would have been nice in the Birds of Prey movie. But anyways, I digress. Mr. PB, tell them about all of the new content you got coming up.
I have new content coming up?
Yeah,
That's
man.
news to me. Shit. Okay, so apparently I have to make some new content, and the new content that's going to be coming to Pop Culture PB, which is my personal channel, is going to be the review of Stargirl episode 2. So that'll be out either Monday night or Tuesday morning, because I'm pretty sure that's when they release it on DC Universe, so I can get it out before they let it out on the CW. So if you watch it on the CW, don't watch my review if you're worried about spoilers. And then the next video that I'm going to do for Prophets of Geek Culture is going to be how Zack Snyder is completely full of shit, and all you have to do is quote him.
That says it all. Check out that video, and that'll be great. And you're welcome, PB, because DC Universe releases their episodes earlier than the fucking CW.
And apparently they'll all be a little bit longer too. So I'll be reviewing stuff. People will be like, that didn't happen. And I'll be like, sorry for your bad luck.
And here in the fandom zone, we got a lot of stuff going on. I will be doing a fandom talks with Stevie J Reviews. We've known each other for a while, and we've never done an interview, and it dawned on me like the other day, and I go, oh shit, I'm a terrible friend. So we're going to be doing a talk to him tomorrow. It'll be at 3 p.m. Central Time, my time zone if you live in another part of the world. Also, I will be doing a Penny Dreadful review probably Monday, because it seemed to be hitting my strides there. And thank you everybody who's been watching them. I had 159 views on that on last episode, so I'm getting more as they go along. So it'll be fun. It's just me and doing a breakdown on the episode. It's full of spoilers, and that's why I'm doing it on Monday, because if I do it on Sunday, either I do it too late or I do it too early. So fuck the algorithm. I don't have that much competition anyways. So yeah, I'm going to do the 4th episode When Death Comes. Just from that title, I'm really excited. They're going a lot into Santa Morta, so finally I'll get some backstory on the villains, because we haven't learned shit about them yet. So that should be fun. Also, I'm going to be doing a couple of more things. I got a new mobile gaming video coming out finally on 7 Deadly Sins. I just unlocked Escanor, and I'm super excited. See how much money I spent in this game. Actually, I did not pay anything. It was a lucky pull.
Liar!
I paid to upgrade to him, but I didn't pay for the character.
I knew it. I knew you had to spend some kind of money.
I mean, you can't get a rare Escanor and then not upgrade
Dude, you are
him.
keeping mobile gaming afloat all on your own.
If I stop playing mobile games, the industry's gonna fucking crash. Also, you can see my Call of Duty regional final video. I made it in the mobile gaming Call of Duty to regional finals. So I will be shooting videos of my matches. watch 10-year-olds beat the shit out of me and me swear at them. Should be hilarious. I'll have the mic on so you can hear the way I talk to kids
That sounds
and
awesome.
why had to create 2 separate accounts. So, anyways,
Oh
you
my
guys all have a
God.
good night. Remember the only rule here in the fandom zone: kneel before your generals.
Nothing.
No, no, a million times no, you sea-level villain.